the casters for the next game. It's first attempt versus synthetic. And we have Chief and we got Slayzilla coming in. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, just phenomenal, man. It is great to be here. I've missed you, C-Daps. It's been a hot minute, but you know who I haven't missed? It's Chief, because I get to see the dude every week, and I don't miss him because I love him so much. And there comes a point where if you love someone enough, you don't miss them. It's beautiful.
Well, my friend, I love you as well. But what on earth is on your face right now? Your forehead. What is that?
Dude.
It's a what?
Have you never seen Survivor? Come on, bro. Get cultured.
Well, apparently my Discovery Channel days have ended. They're just putting reruns of nothing good nowadays. It's just, property pickers or pick hunters or whatever it's called.
American Pickers? Come on, put
Thank
some
you.
respect on the name. That's
American
a banging
Pickers.
show, only beaten out by Pawn Stars.
By Pawn Stars. Oh.
Gosh.
You know what's better than some TV shows? The
Some-
matchup
See?
we've got coming forward. We have Hazmat versus Stokes' team of first attempt. You got Bloom, you got PK, you got some other player by the name of Bait coming forward, and it's gonna be quite the game. How are you guys looking forward to it?
Honestly, I am so excited to see what this is going to bring. And I think I said this on Twitter. Maybe the tweet didn't go out yet. Actually, I don't think it's gone out yet. But this is going to be the battle of support staff, and particularly the analysts behind. Now, Synthetic has picked up a new coach. He goes by the name of Sean. If you're familiar with SCL, you'll probably recognize his name. But you got Hidden and Quixies on the side of 1A, and they do a lot of background work. Now, the coach gets a lot of love from 1A because, well, he's known in the scene, but his support staff, Hidden and Quixies, they need just as much love.
Gotta dish out that love, baby. We're all about it. I mean, I don't know. There's something about Synthetic. It's such an exciting team to watch. They got Hazmat. That's all you really need to know. But first attempt, I mean, both these teams are not in the upper echelon right now of the league. They're not up there with Redux Rising and Lycus Empire and Control Nation, the big dogs. So there's a lot of room for these guys to improve. So I'm excited to see how they battle against each other. I mean, it's a big game. It's a good stepping stone for both of them. So they got to really come out to play tonight.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, if you didn't know, me and my main man Chris, we had a little bit of a stint in T3 as org owners, known as the Dapper Lizards, the Dap from me and the Lizard from Slayzilla, where Hazmat was our entry frag. So we know him well. We know what he's capable of, but we've also seen here at SCS what he's not capable of, and that is having a high rating so far. He's not doing too hot, but you know, it can bounce back at any given moment. He's actually a very mechanically gifted player, as we can go ahead and look at some rosters and some stats that Hazmat has. He's doubled up his rating. He was at like a 0.4 before, and now he's almost to a 0.7. So he's doing a lot better for himself as the entire Synthetic roster is starting to find their groove, getting some nice amount of kills on Fig. I'm not even going to say the number. You just know what it is, as well as Salt coming out. But now we can just talk about the rosters. Take that one away, Chief.
No, I went on the record to say Hazmat was a prodigy in week number 1. And maybe his statistics haven't really backed that up, but I'm still going to stand by what I said. And the best player Synthetic, Fig, was released from the roster, and it's going to be Big Beezer himself from Bursty joining the roster as a substitute today because, well, Helio was sniped away. The original substitute for Synthetic was sniped for Redux Rising and played in the previous series. So there was some drama going on Twitter about that, kerfuffle, but it's been figured out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how Beezer is going to be able to fit into the puzzle that has been the Synthetic roster. Especially, he's going to have some pretty big shoes to fill that Fig has left behind. Almost want to call them clown shoes with just size 15 Nikes coming out. But he's going to get to play the entry role at least, which will be fun for him. But if we switch on over to the other roster, that's first attempt. I'm going to toss it over to you, Chris, and you can take that one away.
Ooh, well, gladly. Let's check these bad boys out over on first attempt. Now, they're definitely not a bad team. They've got a great lineup. They've got a great roster, and I'm really excited to see how they can play. Here we go. Nice little switch over. Look at the names, though. some beautiful names. We got JWL, we got Casper, we got PK, Bait, and Bloom. Hey, look at these operators, man. I love to see with some of these operators. We got Yana coming out looking real good, but more importantly, I love the consistency with these ratings, and nobody below in a 0.8. You know, we got 0.88, two of them as the worst. And that's not a bad to have your worst. That's pretty dang good. You go all the way up to that 1-0 with Bait looking very, very nice. I would say that they're a good team, but they can really push themselves. They could become a great team. So I think that they have a lot of work to do, but I like what they have. You know, they've got a nice base. They've got a good consistency. You put a little bit of flavor in that bad boy. You got a great team with them.
Now, Bloom has departed the roster, so two unknown entities in this lobby with Big Beezer on the side of Synthetic, and it's going to be Flinties making a return from Season 3. One of the highest raters, I believe he was top 5 overall, statistically wise, is going to be joining 1A. So we're going to have to see how he fits on in to the overall meta. But honestly, I'm very excited to see. And honestly, talking about how these rosters actually play against each other, well, Synthetic plays this very loosey-goosey style of play, being orchestrated by Crafty, but he isn't a micromanaging type IGL. And on the side of First Attempt, they're a very structured roster, and they don't play against hyper-aggressive teams. So we're gonna have to see how these two teams battle it out together, because they couldn't be more polar opposites.
I mean, you said it perfectly, as it is a little bit interesting to see at the bottom of our screen that Synthetic did opt to ban away Coastline. So maybe they know something that we don't, because I do like to think of Synthetic as a very frag heavy, aggressive kind of roster. Typically that's the chaos that they would thrive in, especially on a map such as Coastline, where your strats don't do the talking, is the bullets coming out of your guns in a frag centric kind of, whoever shoots harder is going to win the map overall. And it's sort of a rare and an oddity coming out of the entire competitive map pool. But looking forward, as the rest of the maps were banned away, Theme Park and Cafe, those are the default bans, those auto bans coming out. Slay, do you have anything that you're predicting to be banned away after Consulate just came through?
Well, I mean, look at the map pool that we have left. We've got a nice little bit of Villa, got a nice little bit of Clubhouse, and then our final map. What is our final map? My brain just had a fire. Oh no. Oregon. Oh, thank you. Oregon, the lovely map. So we got a good chance that we're going to be seeing some pretty hardcore maps that we all love and know, and we appreciate them. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of a stack up on Club in Oregon, seeing Villa go away, but Villa I've seen more and more often. I mean, it really has kind of swung back in a little bit. Once Oregon came, it got shifted out of the core 3. Oregon was like, step aside, big guy, but Villa's starting to make a little bit of a push in. So out of these 3 maps, I could see any of them coming into our final 2, but I mean, they play rather similarly. I'd say Villa the most unsimilar of the 3, but Oregon and Clubhouse both have a big point on making sure that you open up the correct walls, that you're timing well, that you're playing as a team well. Well, Villa, I mean, Chief talks about it all the time. Villa's kind of whack right now, dude. The attack, when played correctly, can decimate any defense.
Yep. Honestly, I think Synthetic has to remove Villa, because we're going to be playing against a team that is incredibly structured, which is First Attempt, and First Attempt should be able to survive on Villa, because Bait is a phenomenal IGL who likes, again, play that structure. But I'm going to be wrong. It is Clubhouse that is banned, so we're going to be seeing Villa and Oregon for our 2 maps today.
Yeah, we don't know what order it's coming through. I just had a really big struggle trying to point out Clubhouse, because it completely made your point mute into they need to ban Villa, as they immediately ban Clubhouse and say, yeah, that Chief guy, he wants the ACOG on the MA70. What does he know about the game? We're not going to listen to him. As I guess we can go ahead, while we're waiting for the final 2 maps, talk about the predictions that we had for the rest of the staff. I think we all got it wrong. I'm pretty sure all 3 of us predicted Inc. to win the last one, which, as we know, was a tie, Redux Rising taking the map that Inc. did have to play a little bit of a 4v5 on, but the rest of it, I have First Attempt winning this.
Now, I was late on submitting my predictions because I was out of town this weekend, so you won't be seeing it on your screen, but I am also going for 1A. And if you're currently in the 1A watch party, shout out to you guys. And also, shout out to the synthetic watch party. But hate to say it, guys, 1A has the series.
I agree. I don't think I'm here either. I'm really bad when it comes to predictions. I get too nervous because I'm like, oh, both teams are so great. I don't want to offend anybody, and also because I'm bad at Vegas, man. I would lose any bet. But I mean, looking at both of them, I like to believe that anybody can beat anybody if they put their dang little brains to it. So I would like to see Synthetic come out of here with a nice dub, but I think honestly we could certainly be looking at a tie, if not going all the way to one direction with 1A. But it's going to be interesting, man. Synthetic is certainly an underdog team right now. They have not had the bestest of the records, but I would love to see them to come out, stretch their legs a little bit, and go hard. But we can see the overwhelming majority seems to believe that First Attempt will be taking the first and potentially second maps of the night here for these guys.
Yeah, you've got Light Rose, Pond, and Uzu on Team Synthetic. Everybody else on the cast is thinking that's going to be First Attempt. So I'm not the best at math, but I think that it's a little bit more towards the First Attempt side. And it most likely will reflect in chat as well whenever we get those polls rolling as the map gets started off. But you want to dive a little bit deeper into... We can dive a little bit deeper into the actual numbers kind of thing. We know that Oregon and we know that Villa will be played. Do you want to put some hard numbers on it, Chief? Let's get some round count predictions going.
Round count predictions. Well, I've gone on record to say, at least quoting Siege.gg's statistic, Villa, at least at the T1 level, both NAL and EUL, is attacker sided with a 48% win rate and a 49% win rate, respectively, between the two regions, going in favor of the attackers. So we're going to have to see if that's going to pan out here in T3. For the most part, that isn't the case. We still see the common 4-2 splits. And it's going to be probably whatever team is able to shut down the roam game is going to be the team that wins overall.
I agree. I think that is certainly an important step, is to make sure that you check your list and do it twice. You got to be like Santa Claus, man. You got to go thoroughly through all those little checklist boxes, whether you're on the attack or the defense. You need to be able to understand exactly what you have to do to be able to shut them down, how to control. Of course, there are a lot of different roles for the attacking and defending side. When you're attacking, typically you want to make sure that you are setting the pace, that you are moving on your own clock. If the defense gets to do that, they have a huge amount of control. But for as to how far these rounds are going to go specifically, that's a good question, man. I mean, with infinite overtime, the possibilities, quite honestly, CDAPs are unlimited.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I mean, last time you guys casted, I think it was Chief with Blue Panda on Villa. It was the 26th round barn burner. I'm praying for your guys' sake that doesn't happen again. You know, it would be really fun to see, but you know, I'll say like 16 rounds. I think that should be the extent of what you guys should have to go through, as Villa will be our first map, as we're talking about the Italian architecture and that beautiful red-based map. It's going to be looking very interesting. So going back to that predictions, do you think First Attempt are going to take their own map choice?
Well, that's a good question. I'd like to address something though. Someone said, do I ever make my bed? This is my made bed, okay? Get off my back, Mom. Gosh. Just kidding. I love you, Zenith. You're great.
Well, since we're all putting corrections in here, apparently the org owner of Synthetic, AJ, is saying that Villa is their best map. So, was it a mistake that First Attempt allowed Villa to sneak on through? Well, we just have to start the series to find on out, I guess. But I'm going to double down on what I said earlier. Bait is a more structured IGL. You're going to the most structured map, and I think that's just in favor of First Attempt.
I mean, we'll have to see. They only get one attempt on it. Then we move on to map number 2. So they got to strike hard and quick. But The thing with Synthetic, I mean, you've got the child prodigy himself, Hazmat, and the dude's a ticking time bomb. We're waiting. We are just sitting here. It's like an egg that's about to hatch, and when it hatches, the fiery phoenix of doom will arise and cook anybody in their path. I mean, you never know when he's going to go off, and I'm waiting patiently. I made a Twitter post about it, and maybe today's the day. Maybe Synthetic has a little baby Hazmat come alive, and we see the world end.
You know, I'm waiting for that day as well, because if Hazmat spent as much time training with the team as he does in Shock's Twitch chat, you know, maybe he'd be putting up those numbers that we want to see. But maybe, you know, maybe Shock with the armband and the high mechanical skill, it's rubbed off on him. As we are going to be sending over, we'll look at some more stats, because Ferme has made very pretty graphics with, as well as GFX Han with that new background, so much cleaner. It's so nice with that motion. You know, you get the blue, you get the orange, you get the dot matrix coming out.
It's gorgeous.
But what's even more gorgeous is Goria's skill and Goria's numbers right there at the bottom of your screen.
Goria's
Who is
a nuts
this
player.
guy? What, do I know him? Have I heard of
You
him?
just
This
asked who
Goria
is
guy?
Gloria. Oh no. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am now resigning from Storm Competitive Series. I obviously should not be casting here, since my co-caster doesn't know who the legend Goria is. But Goria is this well-rounded individual who just seems to find the scoreboard in every endeavor that he tries to go through.
He's
He spots
ridiculous.
ahead, he kills somebody. That's the story of the Goria. But honestly, in Control Nation, they had a wonderful showing today. Even at 4v5, they narrowly lost in map number 2, bringing it all to 12 rounds. And well, you can see one of our contenders today that is going to be Synthetic, and you kind of have to erase Fig from that, the top member of Synthetic, because he's no longer here, except in Twitch chat.
Can we take a moment to look at our Prodigy's survival rating? Is it really 0.11? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. He
Yes.
dies a lot.
Hazmat, please.
At least he
Stay alive.
At least he plants once.
Hey.
You know, it is a little bit of an issue. Like, the most alarming thing on this entire screen is that Fig is the Ash Jaeger and has the most plants.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. That's a lot of plants, dude. I mean, the dude's getting in there, he's planting, but okay. So, just for anybody who doesn't know, doesn't include me. I obviously know, but how does the survival rating get generated?
It's from the amount of rounds you play and then your amount of deaths.
Okay, that's all. It's not like
from
how
surviving.
It's literally, yeah, it's just
okay.
are you alive when the round ends?
Wow. So out of
You're the one
100
wearing a
rounds.
Survivor headband earlier in the cast, and you don't know survivability.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. I do know. Excuse me. I was just making sure anybody in chat who didn't know now understands. Okay, I'm looking out
Okay.
for the little guy.
I think that you were quote unquote asking for a friend.
No. All these numbers and these KPR entry
Kills per round.
KD. What on earth is KD? What's a rat? What is a
Yeah,
rat?
what is
guys?
a rat?
Come on.
A
Guys are
rat
getting
is the
cleaned
cav
up.
that plays in the basement of Villa.
The rat is my
Oh,
diamond stack for rank. That's what it really is. Hashtag Nasstack on Twitter. Go follow them. But no, 303 Esports. A lot of individuals tend to overlook this team. They're not sitting in the most prettiest spot, sitting that currently in 9th place. But look at their stats. Overall, phenomenal. And Shiba, one of the higher rated individuals at 1.34. That's phenomenal. So that shows that 303 has the ability to play with the big dogs. They just need to start to win their series.
You know, 303 did have a lot of potential. I got to cast them last week where they had to play the 4v5. That was really unfortunate for them. And then they also had to play against Lycus Empire, who are near the top of the entire league for a reason. They already had a really great roster, and then they added somebody by the name of Lethal Gamage. And if you need to know how good of a player he is, you can just type in !lethal, and there will be a giant paragraph dedicated to his entire glory that will be spewed out by the Nightbot.
Or exclamation mark bone too. That works as well.
Yeah,
If I-
Bone is. I like that Bone guy. He has a gun that goes pew pew.
So if I remember correctly, Lethal Gamage was the man who like warmed up one day for a game, not in Siege, but in in like something like League. There's another game like League that I'm
Dota?
not well versed. Something like that. But the
Well-
dude is he warms up in other games and it works phenomenally for him.
So we all know that T1 and T2 players only play Destiny before a comp game. That's just the way it is. So if you're a top level player and you're not playing Destiny before you go live, you're doing everything wrong.
Yeah, you gotta play Guitar Hero on your keyboard.
On your
That's how you warm
keyboard.
up your fingers. You don't need to ever warm up your mouse. It's all about your movement. How fast you can dance on the QE spam.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's probably a thing. You probably could play a little bit of Guitar Hero. Just pick up the keyboard, you know. If you got a nice big one, you have like the extra number pad down there. You can just, oh yeah, you could have
Or
a
you can
good
play the
time
real
with it.
guitar. You can play the real guitar.
Oh, you see, little baby part of your real guitar. He's so small.
Yeah, I have a
You
real
get that little
guitar.
corner.
I'm a
That's
real
nice.
boy like
You're a
Pinocchio.
musician. I love that.
Hey,
But if you-
whoa, Slay, I just noticed something. There's something on your head.
My head?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like,
Wait, are you talking about these?
yeah.
Now, let me tell you about these guys. So right now we have a for $15.99. No, I'm just kidding. These are great. I love these, man. They're beautiful. They're lovely. They're made by this company. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're called HyperX. I love Hyper. Like legitimately, I have their mouse pads that are massive. They
Yeah, I have
rule
that
my
as well.
desk. They are everything. They sound great. Beautiful build quality. I mean, honestly, like if I didn't have headphones, I would get these. But I do, and they're these.
I love the product role.
Yeah. But overall, big thank you to HyperX who hooked all of us on-screen talent up with these wonderful headsets. You know, big shout out. I've got the same one as Keg. Chief's been rocking his retro one that he's had forever because that's how much he loves HyperX. And if you want to just go ahead and go over to their website and pick up any wonderful peripherals, you know that the build quality is going to be great. They're going to last a long time and they're going to perform at the top of any other company. They've got headsets, keyboards, mice, sound cards, mouse pads, whatever you could need to keep your gaming needs on top. You can go ahead and go over to HyperX and tell them SCS sent you because we need that.
That we do. And if you don't know, we're currently stalling because some players haven't yet entered the lobby. If you haven't played, you play today, you know that there's a little bit of hiccups in the code that they wrote, so it's just taking our players a little longer to join than normal. But fear not,
Ubisoft
we'll
Connect is amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, things happen. I'm not a dev. There's a reason I'm a finance major. I'm not smart enough to code a game, so I can't be too critical of them because my 3 brain cells can't even comprehend, you know, zeros and ones. But sometimes mistakes just happen, and this is one of those mistakes. You play, or Ubisoft Connect, or whatever they're calling it now, you know, sometimes it just misses.
Oh.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you just kind of gotta hope that the servers will smile upon you and let you into the game, or that Uplay Connect will actually let you accept game invites. Now there's just
It's
an extra
called
wrinkle
Uplay
in.
Connect for a reason, right? Like,
Yeah, you're
come on,
supposed to
you
be able
gotta
to connect
connect.
with your friends.
Wow, what a concept. Now, gentlemen, Aruni was debuted a few weeks ago, and what are your opinions? She currently has the MK DMR from Dokkaebi and the P10 Roni without a 1.5 times sight, which is glorious to run. If you're not running Mozzie with the P10 Roni and the 1.5, you're doing everything wrong. But what do you guys think of her gate gadgetry, and what do you think about her punching?
I like the punching. Punching's cool because it takes away the need for a shotgun, and that means you aren't going to necessarily have hard smoke mute meta where you have to bring them in order to reconstruct the site to your need. And overall, a lot of the changes coming out towards the next season, it's Neon Dawn, I believe is the operation name, is letting and allowing different operator compositions to come through. We're going to see a lot more variety, especially in the competitive side, because the long-awaited Jaeger Wamai nerf that has been the birth of the utility meta that everybody is such a big fan of. Everybody loves utility meta so much, and it's so exciting to watch, and it's the most glorious thing ever, will finally be over and allow us to see some fun stuff, maybe alibis sprinting around. We'll get to see some more stuff on, and I'm just a really big fan of what Ubisoft is doing forward and going to allow just more variety.
More variety. It's the spice of life, baby. I love to see it. That's gonna be awesome, dude. I gotta be honest. The DMR, Dokubi's DMR, one of my favorites. It's just an iconic weapon. We don't get to see it a whole lot because Dokubi, when she gets played, she better be running the Bosch ACOG, or what are you doing? But I love the MK. M870 ACOG. Oh my goodness, it's even more important.
No.
There you go. Honestly, having it.
No, I say no to the MA78 code.
Well, you're just wrong, and as a casting director, you're about to get fired, so that's easy peasy.
Okay,
So
I'm never gonna Death Coast again, so this is fine.
Get him out of here. But honestly, I like how a DMR might fit in, right? You can open up patches, especially at range. You can get creative and spawn peek, maybe run out windows, but that's going to be the big change. There's only 1 second of outside time for defenders compared to the 3 seconds. The sun is just too powerful, I guess, for these defenders. Their eyes just burn away when they spend too much time outside. That giant red eyeball, the Eye of Sauron, just tells them you probably shouldn't be here anymore. So we're gonna have to see how that DMR actually fits in. It's probably just gonna be, one shot with the pistol, looking down range, 50 meters and trying to one-tap something. That's probably how it's gonna find its impact. But
what's up, boys?
Hello,
What's
man.
poppin'?
Welcome. We just see your face down there. You don't even have a bracket, but it's totally fine. Well, welcome
Where
to
do you
join
want
the
me?
party.
You want me here, or you want me like here?
Cover my face.
Just
Just cover my face.
Just cover the entire screen. We only want to see May right now.
Cover me. Cover me. You can be the Death Coast now.
There we go.
There.
May every day, all day. Well,
It's
since we're
good.
talking about a Rooney, just make it even bigger. I want to see only your face, nothing more. But talk about a Rooney, my friend. How do you think she's gonna impact the meta? There he is. There he is.
All right, so for you guys who are still waiting on the stream, just having a little bit of connectivity issues, so we should start in about like 3 minutes. About there. All right, I'm gonna actually decrease myself in size. Hold up.
No, we only want to see you.
Dude,
We
those are
only want
nice
to.
headphones.
No, you don't only want to see me. That's
Dang,
that's...
those are some really nice headphones, Ferme.
Oh yeah. It's like people are really sleeping on that company. People are really sleeping on the company, dude. Not a lot of people know about HyperX. They're pretty cool. You see, dude. Honestly, sounds pretty sick. Even the logo looks sick. Oh shit! Hold up. Look. Good stuff, dude. Hey, Chief, what's up? Hold up, I'll make.
I just wanted to get the frame. I just wanted to say hello
Hey,
to
do
him.
you know what my favorite thing about Ferme is? That the letter R is in the middle of his name, and that's what we have in chat as we finally have everybody.
Dude, let's
in the
go!
lobby. We're gonna send it over to the proper screen. I'm gonna let Chief and Slay take it away as they take you on the journey of this first map coming up of Villa between First Attempt and Synthetic.
Finally, the party is gonna get started here on the lovely Italian countryside. And will the Vineyards be the downfall of one of these rosters? Well, sadly, it will be the case because only one of these two teams can win today, at least on map number 1. Going into the ban phase, probably nothing too surprising. It's most likely gonna be a Thatcher remove. Now, we've seen a lot of Hibana bans as well as Ace trying to pick between those two. So we're gonna have to see who First Attempt elects to ban, because most likely Synthetic taking out Thatcher.
Now, the other day I was casting. I was doing a little bit of a cast in there, and they banned out a blitz. They took out, Ace is going to be taken out first, which is very exciting. That would leave Thatcher as a potential operator to be left up, which would be an incredibly interesting situation. I doubt it'll happen, but First Attempt, who knows what they'll do. But we saw a blitz ban, which was very intriguing. It was against a team that didn't play blitz, but they banned him anyway. There's the Thatcher god, and, well, those make sense. Ace and Thatcher off the board. You called it, man. You like to get it. Of course, it used to be Hibana before Ace entered the building. Hibana was a very, very powerful ban because it made the offense get up close and personal. They wanted to open up a wall. They'd have to use Thermite. They have to use Maverick. They'd have to get right up there. And Kaid being taken down, one of the great electrical operators, is off the board. That leaves one. Is it going to be a Mira? Is Mira going to be left up? Will it be a Valkyrie? Who's going to be? Maestro. Wamai.
I just had to put my thought downrange. Invulnerable Kaids will not be a factor in map number 1, and Utility Consumption Simulator will be nerfed just slightly, since Wamai also won't be able to participate in map number 1. Now, Synthetic has the option of going to 4 different bomb sites as they start round number 1. It's most likely going to be the primary bomb site, and there it is. Planes and Games are going to rear its ugly head to start us off. Now, we talk about this every single time we play Villa. It is most likely going to be first attempt taking all the way from the north side of the map and pushing their way down. But no, Planes and Games will not be our first round. It will be downstairs, kitchen and dining. And look at those nitrocells, the call center from hell, or nitrocell bonanza kicking us off.
Oh, yes. I remember before I even met you, Chief, tales of the Nitrocell Bonanza have traveled far and wide. And I was like, who is this man who is so wise in the ways of the word? I didn't know. I didn't understand. But you certainly do see it when you're on a site like dining. It's very, very fun to have explosives. They go boom, you chuck them up, they stick, they explode. Yeah, 4 to 5 operators. That's huge, man. I mean, even if you just take one attacker down with that, that's nice. That's a free little click. You press your secondary gadget button, you blow stuff up, you get a free kill, easy peasy, you go along your day. But then you've got the legend himself, you've got Beezer, who is supposed to be casting that. I mean, why is he not doing both? I don't understand. It was all on Twitter, but he's going to be playing the Pulse, which is an incredibly powerful operator. Not only can he chuck Nitro Cells himself, he can guide. He can guide others to a treasure he can't possess after he chucked his first one, and it didn't take anybody down.
Well, it's going to be Bait guiding first attempt on their first attack. We're going to have to see how they elect to push. The majority of their units are over towards the east side of the map, so it's going to be more or less a traditional style clear, taking that vertical pressure. But as I say that, the two primary entries are also now on the west, so this might be a linear first floor take. This is a great way of bypassing that utility, those nitra cells of the defenders. And with all the drone economy down here, the avenue to push into bomb site might actually work out pretty well. Synthetic is going to have to do a full rotation to actively deal with the pressure in library, but for the time being, the attackers now have full control of library.
You're going to check out a couple of books, learn some knowledges. When's the last time you went to a library? It's been years, man, but these guys are in there currently right now, and they're going to keep on moving. Some good control is essential. When you're talking about a second floor attack, you've got to have the second floor control. But on the first floor, usually you got to take second and then first. So I'm excited to see how they do go for it. If they're going to try to get a little bit of vertical pressure on. But of course, that's up to their own discretion. Flinty's prepared and ready. You've got Casper on the Zolf ready to go as well. A little bit of a nice shot will come out, try to blind Crafty, but Craft swings out, doesn't find the kill. Instead, it'll be PK taking down Emin. Beautiful shot for Emin. He's dead now. Another comes out as Flinty takes down Southbad. Beezer with a refrag finds Bait, but it's a 3v4. Another, this time it's Craft taking down Casper. The refrag does come out. PK finds Bees, and now it's a 2v3 with Hazmat, the legend Hazmat. Oh, and it's going to be Craft, though, evening it out at 2-2. JWL and Flinties remain. Craft and Haz up against two phenomenal operators. A whole lot of female power here with just the Jaeger as our only male operator. He's ready to go, but Flinty's looking prepared as well. Won't be prepared for that. Craft on the triple kill. Will look for the quad. C4 comes out, but it doesn't hit. Neither does a hip fire. It's going to be JWL in a 1v1 with 39 seconds on the clock. Hazmat, come alive, brother. Do what you must. Become. He did. He did it. He became. He's awake. Chief, he's here.
Well, Hazmat has now ascended into godhood, but it's only the first round. There could be 23 more across this entire series. Now, first attempt elected to go for that very linear execute, and it worked out very well for them. Synthetic was not prepared for that. They were still looking towards the ceiling, utilizing that Pulse cardiac sensor to the best of their ability, but their cardiac sensor was looking nowhere near where that execute was coming from. And honestly, Flint's had a great showing. The newest addition to first attempt is showing why he deserves to be on Ash. And you can see, well, Saltbat is very concerned about the aggression and how quick first attempt is taking control of the map. So Capcan's going to be in play, trying to hinder that control. It's going to force them to have a better drone economy, confirming where those Capcan charges are, and also checking those doors. That might only take about a second, but in the heat of a moment, a second can be the difference between life and death.
Oh, you really can be, man. I mean, a split second, you're done. And that's how it seems to be every time I hop onto the game. It's just like, dead. Boom. Where from? I don't know. But when it's from a Kapkan trap, you feel real bad about yourself. It's a real oof moment when you get taken down by one of those EDDs that have been primed and ready for your arrival. But it's not an operator we see a ton. It is an operator that could certainly mess someone's day up very, very, very quickly. I think he's a cool guy. Doesn't bring the most to the table when it comes to the way the meta is right now. The meta is really just slow people down, make them work for every inch. You've got, if you look at the lineup, all these operators are built for information gathering or for trying to deny the movement. Even in a sense, our dude Kapkan denies movement. He's just very easily taken care of. A single bullet will find those EDDs and take him out, and some good drone work will give you the location of them. But these operators here, they come in to slow the attack down, and Synthetic will work off of that brilliantly. They've got a good roster. They've got Hazmat picking up one kill that meant the world after Kraft died on a 3K. But I'm excited to see. First attempt, a powerful team. Saltbad taking some big damages. Doesn't know why. He has to run away and question his entire life. How do they know? But with 2 minutes to go, let's see how first attempt will continue their movement.
A great read coming out by first attempt, understanding that there is a pulse in play, and this is going to force them to drone out the basement because that tends to be where Pulse likes to hide. Confirming that Pulse isn't over there, their drones are going to run into Kapkan, and that's going to be the next step of the puzzle, clearing out the entire north side of the map. Kapkan is going to retreat, but Beezer is still on Pulse over in Library. Now, we've seen a lot of defending rosters elect to hold this first floor, because if you do a very linear hold on that second floor, this is going to allow the attackers to set up crossfires, and that is one of the many reasons why this map has started to go attacker-sided. So the defenders are always trying to change things out. There goes Kapkan. He's attempting to get aggressive, but he's going to only find his demise. Now it's Beezer's turn to attempt to find two, just like Hazmat, who got a brilliant double, lined them up, knocked them down with 70 seconds left.
Ooh, there's another JWL on Hazmat. Now the refrag. Oh, it's not a refrag. It's Casper taking the double kill. Beezer drops now as well, and it's just him, and it's just Kraft. It is a tough one with less than a minute to go. These two defenders are going to have to come together. They're going to have to bind and really get in there. They're going to have to work so well because time right now is not crazy bad for the first attempters. They can use it well. They can understand that they have the man advantage. They have a good chance of being able to hold more angles than Synthetic know what to do with. And if they work in here perfectly well, or even averagely well, they should have a great chance. Synthetic, on the other hand, they're gonna have to do it perfectly. They're gonna have to perform with minimal mistakes. They're gonna have to get in here and do everything well. That's not well. Kraft, that was not what you were supposed to do. JWL takes him down, and well, now it's just our smoke left alone. 10 seconds on the board. The plan is sure to go down eventually, but the smoke can be a very, very tough object to deal with. And the plant now finally being placed. We will be having a little bit of a post plant, but for how long? That's a question, Chief. How long will man stay alive? Well, not long at all.
A-Man's gonna have his head absolutely removed from his shoulders, getting very aggressive with his SMG-11, but he was on a preset drone over by Red, so his life was quickly forfeit. And first attempt is gonna find their first round on attack. And it looked like Synthetic was doing everything right. They had a phenomenal stage roam, sniping away the drones and slowly starting to retreat back to their bomb site. The problem was they started to retake map control and pushing straight into first attempt. If Synthetic was able just to play their lives better and change their aggression dial instead of having it set at 6,000, that round would have been completely different because Synthetic would have had the man advantage on the bomb site. That is a big problem that Synthetic has. They only do one thing really well, and that is pure hyper aggression. But you need to be a team that can be both aggressive and passive, very much like Lycus Empire and In Control Nation.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, if you think about those great teams, they're beautifully fluid. They've got the power, they've got the grace. They're like a cheetah. And animals are awesome, man. I'm all about all types of animals, but there's a reason cheetahs are the fastest land mammals because they are just perfectly built for what they need to do. And it seems like those teams in the upper tiers of SCS are very well built for what they do here. And I agree. Synthetic, are they a one-trick pony? We certainly hope not. We would love to see them come out on different layers and show us what Nunion's all about. But Unfortunately, it really does seem like they excel in positions where hyper aggression is the answer, but when it's not the answer, they seem to overextend, just like you were saying. They put too much of themselves out there. They try to go grab something. They get their hand chopped off for it. And, well, without a hand, it's kind of hard to win a round. So if first attempt can really play into that well, this is going to be a big win for them. And it should be a swift win as soon as they understand how Synthetic's playing. It's going to be a big adaptation from Sin in order to right their wrongs here. But to be honest, a 1-1, there's nothing wrong quite yet. Just some fundamentals that we need to watch out for.
Once again, the structured attacks of first attempt is going to allow them to take control of the first floor, utilizing vertical pressure. A lot of defending rosters elect to play down here. Once again, with those Nitro Cell denials. Now, it won't be a full Nitro Cell Bonanza since there's only 2 of them in play, but it's actually going to be deployable shield Bonanza with 4 shields as a factor. And this is going to force first attempt to really rely on their explosives and sending them down range true. The problem with that is, though, they're utilizing the majority of their vertical soft destruction just to make murder holes into this triple wall, not really landing on the shield. So hopefully able to make that adaptation. All bad is going to go for a flank. He's going to find 2 nice headshots from him. Is he going to be looking for more? Nobody's downstairs in kitchen, but he's going to be relegated to that spot with no chance of rotating up the stairs. Beezer's going to find 1, but immediately retragged as it's going to actually be a 1-1 trade.
Man, that dude carved him a little bit like a pumpkin there, and now it's a 4v2 situation. Not exactly where you want to be, but the fights continue. JWL checking flashbangs in ADS will not be able to flash any of his perpetrators. Instead, the triple kill from So Bad will ring true. Bait, alone in a cold, dark world, finds Craft, but that's only 1 of 4. Yeah, 25% of the remaining kills you need to take. We need to see you get a whole lot more, and this is a little bit dire here for Bait. I'm wondering if he's even going to try to go for it. Will they have a little bit of a tack timeout? Is there a reason to have a tack timeout this early in the game? Is there ever not a reason to have a tack timeout? If you're here, you might as well talk about it. But let's see if Bait is going to push his luck. The man's going to Vegas. He's rolling lucky 7s. He wants red 96 or something. I've never played that game. It looks like a little carousel, but it's going to be a beautiful shot into Hazmat. The double kill comes out. He's just 2 away from clutching the round Alzave home. But it's easier said than done, Chief. 20 seconds on the clock. The triple kill. Assault Bad is shut down. It's the smoke versus the Bana.
Well, for the time being, it's going to be Amen trying to rotate to new real estate, trying to change up where he wants to go for the execute. Now it's going to be the IGL of Bait to understand where the rotation is. The Ella Grismont mines are going to give away that Bait is coming from behind, but it doesn't look like Amen knows this as of yet. Bearing 9 in hand, trying to check as many corners as possible, but not enough time on the clock. Those bullets are purely in vain. Synthetic is going to win another round, and it's starting to look like this map is just very defender-sided. First attempt was doing a lot of things right, taking control early on, but they're falling in the mistake that every single team makes, not setting up flank drones.
It's so important, man, to be able to have that information consistently set up, to be able to understand where the defenders are, to be able to understand where you can go from. It's huge. It is so important, and it really is one of those essential steps. You're giving up rounds here, and that's not good for you. I mean, we have to remember that this is a map a first attempt wanted to go to. I mean, they didn't really have much of a choice. It was Oregon or this. They knew they were going to Oregon or Villa, but they wanted to go here first. They wanted to go here specifically for themselves and really get on the board and get going. Throughout the entire ban phase, they were trying to make sure that Villa was going to be up, perhaps. They wanted to craft themselves into a beautiful position here. And at this point, with Synthetic winning the first quarter, very nice for them. They've gone 2-1 for those first 3 rounds. They can do that again. It'll be a 4-2 split, and that'll set them up very nicely for the attack. Once again, this can be a very attacker-sided map when done correctly. It takes a pretty high-functioning team and a team that can work well together and set up crossfires. But if Synthetic can really just go bananas here, almost said banucular, they could do a lot of damage the first attempt and put them into a really good position. But I think this is going to be a back and forth one. I can feel it in my bones. This is going to go back and forth, very close to OT, if not OT. I think we're seeing all 12 here.
But nuclear is a great way of putting it. And the way that Big Beezer is now rotating downstairs to the basement with his pulse cardiac sensor, he can do exactly that. Now, first attempt is changing up their execute. The last time they're here, they went from a north to south roam clear, clearing out the basement to directly deal with that cardiac sensor. They are now skipping that step in favor of a very linear study take. Now, we have seen teams both at the pro level as well as the T3 level be successful with this very linear take. The problem is it doesn't really allow you to set up as many crossfires as you should, and it's going to force you to take more aggressive stance. Bad doesn't see the bullet hole as he dry peeks straight into it. He's able to pull the trigger, only dealing about 10 HP. Now, Big Beezer is rotating down here. He is thinking about getting aggressive, but for the time being, he's going to be rotating to new pastures.
Hazmat taking a little bit of damage. He's in a hazard zone, but PK's taking more as well. He had about 10 chipped off, like he said, from Salt, but he's taken more now, under 50 HP. Beezer continuing to slink around like an evil little bald man. He's ready to go. Hazmat on the Jaeger is moving as well. They're wanting to go a little bit more aggressive, it seems. Like you mentioned, they like to get out there and try to get as much damage as possible. But when you overextend, you really put yourself into a bad position. You can stretch your muscle too far and then it breaks, and then you got a torn hammy or something. So we got to be careful here, Synthetic. You don't want to lose what you've already lost, and what you've lost is a man advantage. You've given that up to first attempt, and you're gonna have to fight out from it. You're gonna have to play very smart. Understand that time is your friend. You don't have to go for every retake. All you got to do is use that time wisely, allow them to play into you. Perfectly perform here, and Hazmat looks for more. The man's 3-2, looking real spicy so far tonight within the 4 rounds we've played so far. But with just about 35 seconds to go, first attempt has all 5 players ready and willing to jump in here, and this is going to be an interesting situation for Synthetic. The shot comes out, the refrag. It's going to be Kraft with a shot on a PK. He swings again, but he's taken down. JWL picks him up, and now it's a 3v4.
Well, for the time being, you can see why linear takes don't work out very well. There's no crossfire, so it's just going to force first attempt to flex their muscles, show why they're the better mechanical team. Flint's is going to find 2. Now it's going to be the Nitrocell denier from Beezer. He's hunting with his cardiac sensor, unable to find anybody. The Nitrocell is going to be sent down range, but no contact whatsoever. Coming up the main stairs, he was caught out on a drone. Finally, the flank drone's going to pay off, and it's going to be another round win for 1A.
1A, they're class A, they're top of their school, they got A's, they're looking real good right now. But I mean, to be honest, we're just tied up. It's just 2-2. It's not really that big of a deal for either team right now. It's going to become a more and more big of a deal as we continue. Little rounds turn into big rounds, and big rounds turn into big maps, and maps, ladies and gentlemen, turn into lovely points that both of these teams desperately need. As we know, I believe the top 6 will be making it to playoffs. After that, you're kind of SOL, man. You just got to try your better luck next time. And if we look at where these guys are, Synthetic, they need a lot of points at this point. They need a ton of points. And for a first attempt, they're a lot closer to the edge. And this is huge for them. They really need to get the maximum amount of points here. And those maximum amount of points would be denying as much as possible, trying to take a 2-0 victory. Let's see how it's going to go. But, Chief, did you know this? A little fun fact for you. The last time these two teams played Villa, they lost 4-7 and 3-7, respectively. They were very respectful about that. They said, "Good game, my sir. Thank you for the." But that's interesting. I mean, both teams coming off of a defeat here on Villa. What does that mean? Is that going to play into how they are with their mentality game? Does it change with every team you play? What's the dealio with this team? Both of them struggling on Villa last time.
So to answer your question backwards, this is going to allow a lot of VODs in the universe. And we're talking about the support staff for both of these rosters. Hopefully they've done their due diligence, gone back, watched the previous VODs, understood how they're playing defense, how they're playing attack, what they were doing right and what they're doing wrong. That's the most important thing. Trying to break down their macro strategies. Now it's going to be Flint's walking on through. He's going to down 2. Line them up. Is he going to be trying to find another one? This is going to be alerting everybody at Synthetic. That's going to be a full rush from Pantry Stairs. PK is going to get another one. And the entire lobby of Synthetic's going to start to crumble. Hazmat's finally going to get another reattempt of a kill. But where are anybody else? He's looking for more, but the only thing he's going to find is his own demise. A 1v4 is almost an impossible scenario. And Casper is going to finish off bad.
Okay. I mean, I guess you can do that. I guess that's okay. First attempt. I guess you can come here and just demolish everybody within seconds. Good grief! Oh, they're scary, man. They really are. And that was an incredibly quick round. They did not mess around. They said, we're here to do damage. And at this point, they're looking very, very potent. It's a 2-3 lead for them. And well, if they just take one more, that's 3 in a row. That's a brilliant, brilliant showing. They're heading to Trophy. Trophy was one of the sites that we saw won. And if we recall correctly backwards, it was Bait in a clutch 1vx, was a 1v4. He got it down to a 1v1, ran out of time. He was against Eamon. And I honestly think he could have done it if he didn't have time. Eamon was not looking very confident. In fact, if we look at his stats right now, he can't be feeling too confident. Of course, he is playing as a support role, but still, you would like to have a couple kills, if nothing else, for your mentality to say that, yeah, I can beat these guys when I need to. At this point, he hasn't been able to beat them when he needs to. He's 0-4 with 1 assist. Hazmat, on the other hand, Hazmat, the only person going positive right now for Synthetic, is truly blossoming into a lovely little flower, and I couldn't be happier for him.
So the former member of Claw Central, Bait, had a brilliant read on that round. We're talking about how structured first attempt is. Even in a rush, they maintain that structure. Flint's was the flashy player who alerted everybody on Synthetic that it is going to be a rush. But what we missed off screen was the fact that first attempt had already set up a 360-degree crossfire. As soon as first attempt started to leave their bunker positions, they were walking straight into the crossfires of first attempt. That read and that level of synergy will allow first attempt to play against the big dogs if they're able to continue things up. It is very small things that lead to round successes, and that is a perfect way of orchestrating it.
You're absolutely correct, man. It really is. It's small little baby steps that turn into big little monster steps, and that's what we love to see. Shots coming out. PK already taken a massive amount of damage. He's going to be just around 50 HP. Very aggressive once again coming from Synthetic. They want to make sure that you feel pain every step of the way, but problem is Synthetic, they're starting to lose their grasp a little bit, and if Flinties continues to just frag out of his mind. Kraft now goes down. A beautiful opening frag from first attempt. Things are going to start looking a little bit more and more dire here. I mean, the defense, typically, you would like to see a 3-3 on this map right now, and the way it is, you just want to make sure that you can try to go even and do your best when you switch on the attack. It's going to be potentially okay to go down 4-2, but it's really not what you want. It's not what you were hoping for, and well, as we see, I mean, first attempt doing a great job with their drone work. They're doing a great job with their information gathering. They're doing a great job of winning their gunfights. And I mean, honestly, it's coming down to the simple fact that first attempt in these last couple of rounds have been marginally better than what Synthetic's bringing to the table.
And Hazmat is a standout performer. People have been incredibly critical of him. And there he goes, attempting to find the second. He's going to trade himself on out. He's been the highlight player in this series. He's going to continue to do exactly that as we return over to a 6-man lobby. Everything is going to quiet down for the time being, but the statistics don't lie. Hazmat is doing his job. They brought him on as an entry fragger, and he's going to be finding some. Salt's going to try to emulate his teammate wide swinging with the Scorpion Evo, a successful headshot, and the man advantage now in favor of Synthetic. It is imperative that Synthetic wins this round, moving us over to a 3-3 half.
Oh, it's huge for them, man. They need to be able to get on the board here. They lose this one out. Really, really, really great opportunity for first attempt to run away with it, but in the position they are, they certainly have a great chance, but they got Bait up, they got Casper up, they got Bait up. Casper now dead. A beautiful kill from Saltbad, who's very, very good at what he does best, and what he does best is straight up kill you. Very similar situation to what we saw last time here on this map, on this site rather, and Bait is going to have to do everything with seconds and time running down. There's no chance he wins this one out, and it'll be the headshot from the Vector 45 ACP that confirms the kill. Beezer shuts him down, takes the win, and we do indeed see a 3-3 split on our opening half on our first map here of Villa.
And once again, first attempt started to skip steps. They had control of the entire master bedroom side. They were trying to set up their crossfires and looking in different angle vectors, but they weren't coordinating where they were looking. So they had individuals looking in the exact same direction. This is allowing players like Salt Badgers to walk on up and get free kills. On the other side of the coin, Hazmat was able to just walk around the map with no flank drone spotting him out and just taking those gunfights. Those are mistakes that should never happen to an attacking team. Now, unfortunately for 1A, they will no longer be attacking on Villa, at least for the time being, for the regulation 12 rounds, unless we go into OT, as Solbad obviously wants to say hello to our observer.
Oh, you're so kind. You say hi to him. Good old Henry, what a legend. We love the guy. The guy's great. One of the best in the world, perhaps. And he's been showing us all sorts of action tonight as we prepare to go yet again to the very, very exciting side of Aviator Games, the old AVG, looking real good. You got planes, you got games, you got so many things to do. Yeah, the thing is, the games room really does get neglected. It's kind of sad. They set up, they got a whole party going. They're like, yo guys, you still coming tonight? And no one answers them. It's a sad situation because everyone instead goes to planes.
That's a great point. And honestly, a site that is overlooked is Library. Now, in this first part of the NAL, we actually saw it played, I don't want to say a decent amount, but enough to have some statistical viability to at least from CGD standards. And it was working out very well. It was playing very similar to Reading Room on Cafe, our default map ban in this series, because, well, you had to play it vertically. It forced the attackers into an opportunity cost. Do I take a very linearly all the way from the north pushing south, or do I clear planes and games? And, well, the linear push was not the option because the defenders would set up Swiss cheese holes all around. So that would force the vertical take into planes and games. And there was just no rotation potential for the defenders. They just find themselves sitting in a kill box and die. So the quaternary bomb site has, well, fallen out once again. No surprise there. A Synthetic is very quick in taking map control, all of being led by Hazmat, who gets credited with that kill.
Dude, Hazmat's insane, bro. I mean, we talk about him all the time. The guy is just crazy. He's crazy. He's real good. But Saltbad does a majority of the work, it seems, for a lot of his teammates. And he's doing some good work as well. The man's 5-5, but the frag comes out. Saltbad on the ground. PK at a dangerous position. Got to watch out. Amen takes a whole lot of damage. He'll be taken out as well. Flinties finds him. Saltbad still waiting to be confirmed. The big swing from Flinties takes down the mat of Haz. And now it's an essential 2v4. Estando bien, we might say, because this means Beezer and Kraft are going to have to come alive, try to save Saltbad if they can, and fight their way through a gauntlet of some of the best ops in the game. Casper finished off Saltbad. It is confirmed that Beezer and Kraft Boolin will be fighting to the very end of their days. They've got to chew through all four of these guys. They start with one. A beautiful shot comes out from Kraft. They're starting to take more and more situational control, but they're still a lot of big guys. You got two of the best operators to have at the end of a round. That's going to be the Maestro and the Smoke. You've got the Goyo. You've got three players who are all going positive as well for first attempt. In fact, everybody on first attempt going positive, if I'm reading this correctly, which is incredibly impressive. They're doing a very good job at managing their kill-death ratio. Of course, doesn't mean everything. As we can see, they're tied up, but it does mean that they're efficiently winning gunfights when they need to. And Kraft trying to find a big kill. Won't be able to find it. Beezer tagged up immensely. 30 seconds on the clock.
And the thing is, there was 30 seconds of denial from those toxic babes, so Synthetic is going to have to push through the smoke, and the player on loan from Versity has no HP to do that whatsoever, so it's going to be Crafty, forced to go for the entry kills, unable to complete that endeavor. Smoke is going to finish him off as PKs. Oh, unfortunately, to be credited with that. Beezer had no option other than just to try to cough his way through the smoke, but sadly, he won't be able to do so.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you really can't. That's the beautiful thing about Smoke. He puts you into a situation you don't want to be in. A good Smoke player will ruin your life. They will make you feel like you can't do anything. You're powerless because you're literally up against a rock and a hard place. You're up against this ticking time bomb of time. You got to get the plant down. Your teammates are saying, go, go, go get it, go plant it, go get them all. But at the same time, the Smoke is saying, hold up now. you're not going anywhere near me, brother. You're taking a little bit of a chill pill. You're staying there. And well, the poor guy just ends up choking half to death or to death. And that's the way it goes. Smoke, a brilliant operator. If you bring a smoke, he's like a fine wine, dude. He gets better as the round goes on. And with Babe playing him, that man's looking like an 1855 or something. I don't drink wine. I don't know.
I mean, I appreciate the wine reference, but it couldn't be further away. I think the kids call that a miss nowadays. But look at the strategy we're going to be seeing. It's not going to be extension in the closet. Almost look like they're going to be doing so, but that is not the case. And you can see all the reinforcements are facing towards the east. That lip of the reinforcement wall makes it very difficult or almost impossible to throw things over it, which is why you tend to put it in the direction the attackers are coming from, because you don't want them to utilize those frag grenades perfectly against you. Once again, first attempt is going to be bringing out the Dapper Man himself, Warden. He can bring a lot of utility if you're trying to directly counter flashbangs. And well, there's only 2 sets of flashbangs, but 1 set of smokes on Big Beezer. So it actually might work out very well. Plus, couple that with the potential of a deployable shield, you can shut down long lanes pretty effectively.
Oh, you're absolutely correct, Matt. I mean, he does have the MPX as well. He's got a lovely little 1.5 sight on it. Makes it a little bit more aggressive in longer, medium range situations. But look at the synthetic boys. It's so bad creeping on up. He's ready to go. 5 and 6 on the night so far. Is going to make it 6 and 6 if he's not careful here. But it won't happen. Instead, he's going to be not like that. It's a 5 and 7. Beautiful shot from PK. Shuts the boy down. And now back to the drawing board we go. Hazmat taking massive amounts of damage. He's still going positive. Eamon struggling right now. 0 and 5. Needs to come alive. But unfortunately, Synthetic seem to be just not getting on the train right now. Synthetic, what are you doing? You're leaving Hazmat all alone to do the work. But the good thing is he's got some great teammates. One of them is going to be Eamon with the first frag. Beautifully timed to get on the board. Evens the man count up as Casper will fall. But Flinty's not ready for that. Eamon takes him out. The double kill. Go for the ace, kid. Go get them all.
Now, the majority of the series that Eamon is able to perform at his best are series where Synthetic does very well. And he's finally found the scoreboard. If he's able to find more impact frags in round number 8, this could be Synthetic tying us up once again. And this role change between Hazmat and Saltbad seems to be working out pretty well, because it's allowing Eamon to continuously pop off. Whether they can have any answer back from the all that's lying prone, he's going to find one, but B doesn't get the refrag. Is now just stuck in the 1v2. He's worse for wear, taking damage in an earlier engagement. He still has the utility in his back pocket as he now downs Eamon. No clutch for him, no ace. But the SMG-11 is going to have to find one through the wall, an attempted shot, but not letting its targets. M590 in hand, trying to go for the buckshot at range, but it's going to be all in vain.
Beautiful job, dude. What a great play from Beezer. Read into that perfectly, got the plant down, was able to use the F90 in a phenomenal way, and that's exactly what we needed to see. So bad says I didn't know what site was. I feel like a moron. Homie walked in, and Hobie was walked out quite swiftly. Heading now, it is going to be a return to the Trophy of Statuaries. They're ready to go again. They want to try it once more, and well, if it doesn't go their way, they're going to lose the point lead that they've had for quite some time here. I mean, first attempt, they lost the first round, but they're able to kind of get themselves established a good amount, but they're starting to slip away here, especially if they lose this one. If they lose this one, Synthetic back at it again. They're feeling good. They're feeling deadly, and they could take the map quite quickly if you really get those afterburners turned on. So first attempt, gonna have to do something big here. I mean, we've seen some great plays. We've seen Eamon come alive and do exactly what you need to do. And now if we're looking at the scoreboard for Synthetic, they're all looking much more even. But still, we've got some real fraggers on first attempt as well.
Oh yeah, Flint's the newest addition, is showing why he deserves to be on this roster. Now, he hasn't been confirmed. He's still technically a substitute for them. And I know there's a few other individuals on the side of first attempt that they're still vetting out for the team. But right now, Flint has a phenomenal showing, as well as his counterpart, PK. And that community vote is incredibly close. And if you look at the statistics and where these teams are sitting on the leaderboard, First Attempt in 8th place with 8 points and Synthetic with 2 points, both of these rosters have struggled. And Synthetic, coming from that old yep flop roster, they're always a crowd favorite. And sometimes community polls don't always go for the best team. It's a team that you just love the most.
Oh, it's so true, man. I mean, sometimes you get a little bit of an attachment to a team. You just have to go for them. And ooh, well, Flinty's gonna go for that. Misses a shot. We'll find it. Oh my goodness, got a little bit sketchy. The double kill doesn't come out. It's a refrag from Hazmat. He's bringing the LMGE instead of the N762 on the Zulf. A very, very big gun that has a lot of bullets. It goes pew pew for even longer than Bone could dream of. Bone needs to start picking up the LMG because that thing has unlimited pew pew, it seems. The thing goes off for hours. And now in a 4v4 situation with just a minute on the clock tick-tocked away, another frag comes out. It's going to be a beautiful refrag. Beezer finds Casper as PK goes onto our dear friend Eamon, finds him 3-3 now. Synthetic wanting to take their lead for the first time in a while.
So the LMGE has a very same statistic to its counterpart, the M762. So if you're not running a vertical grip or an angled grip on the M762, you actually may as well bring the LMGE. Its ADS time is going to be just slightly slower, but not that much, at 150 bullets. Heck yes, that is one of the best weapons and something that is completely underrated. Now PK is going to go for a quick QE spam, trying to utilize that T5 perfectly, but it's also going to be the LMGE answering it back, holding mouse one all the way up through. Hazmat's going to find the kill, again trying to re-peek into another individual, but unable to find that. And you can talk about that role change is working out perfectly for Synthetic. Salt is getting those openings, followed up by Hazmat. Now, sure, Salt has struggled in the past 2 rounds, but nonetheless, you can already see how that macro strategy is starting to work its way in as there's 4 remaining members of the entire lobby. Jewel is going to be shut on down as is now once again the IGL abate.
Why is he always alone up here? Why is it always just him? What's he doing, man? Every time we go to trophy, the poor guy has to clutch it up, whether he's on the attack or on the defense. He's we're going to look to do it here. Beezer on the plant. Last time Beezer was incredibly deadly after that plant went down. The F90, phenomenal weapon. The Type 89 as well, a phenomenal weapon. And Bait is in a very bad situation here. He's in a very tough one. He's going to have to fight his way through 2 players who are setting themselves up very nicely. Look at those pesky track stingers. They're so painful. You gotta step on them. They're like Legos on steroids. They give your position away, but, well, Kraft still dies to Bait. Bait has it alive, but with time ticking down, all Beezer has to do is play passively and not do anything stupid, but he does have to realize when the plant is being attempted to go down. He knows that if he wastes enough time, there's no chance for him. At this point, there is no chance for him. Even though the kill goes Bait's way, he understands that there's no chance to win the round. He collects the kill, but Synthetic win the round nonetheless.
Just pad your stats at this point, because that's the only thing this kill is going to actually do. Synthetic is very aggressive on their roam clear and clearing out the entire map. And we're talking about the Synthetic aggression dial where it's set to 6,000 only. I spoke too soon. Maybe on defense it's set to 6,000, but they've really brought it back. And this is the first time I've ever seen controlled level of aggression coming from Synthetic. And it seems like First Attempt is struggling to deal with that because they're now playing a team that can be hyper aggressive and very structured at the same time. 2 dynamics that seems like First Attempt is uncomfortable dealing with it. Also, they're far too passive on their outside roam all the way over to planes and games. We just see Flint's just trying to bait his way into kills and just players just trying to QE span themselves to success. That's never going to work out well. You have to have a more coordinated roam if you're going to be successful against the current Synthetic roster that we see playing.
Oh, they're brilliant, man. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit about baseball. You've got a pitcher, and if you have a pitcher who all he does is throw fastballs, you know, get these really blazing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, that's great. They're super speedy, but eventually you're going to have people catching up to that speed. They're going to get used to it. They're going to knock him out of the park every day. So what a pitcher does is they utilize different speeds. They'll throw a little bit of a changeup. It's literally called a changeup because it changes up the pace, and that's what we like to see from a lot of teams here. And Synthetic is doing a great job of that. They're chucking a little bit of a curveball. It comes in. It looks like it's going straight. All of a sudden, it's not straight at all, and it's Hazmat. Hazmat's the real curveball, going 9-8. He's top fragging for his team. Not quite the lobby, as PK has that honor, going 11-8. Very, very deadly, but at the same time, you could be very deadly. You're still down a whole round, and it's getting very close to the final couple of rounds here in regulation. It's round 10 out of 12 before we go to overtime, and that's if we go to overtime. At this point, first attempt would have to win every single round in order to take us to the end of this first map without touching OT. Synthetic, on the other hand, rush right into Flinties and will die quite quickly. Hazmat, we love and appreciate you, but your survival rating is that's why it's 11.
A huge blunder coming out of the side of Synthetic, and they're droning. They're not looking in corners. Just because you walk a drone down range doesn't mean you've actually droned out the entire map. This is the second time that the primary entry of Synthetic is being shut down for free. Now, the difference between this round and the previous round was Hazmat was at least able to utilize that LMGE to get a refrag, delivering us to a 4-4 man count. But that won't happen. Flint's going to overextend, and he's going to be the sore loser in that exchange, as he's going to lose about 35 HP. But the most important thing in the change between round 10 and 11 is Flint's is alive with still greater than 50 HP.
Ooh, the man is still alive indeed. That's huge for him. That's absolutely massive. It's the biggest thing we've ever seen. And with a minute and 20 to go, it's going to come down to this. What will happen there? Beautiful shot into the IQ. It's Casper taking it down. The Aldo rings out and finds the frag. And now Synthetic looking like they're falling apart on this round. We praise them so much for being a great, great team at adapting and switching the pace. But unfortunately, the pace has been switched around by first attempt, and they found exactly what they need to do. Synthetic placed firmly into a difficult situation. There's still about a minute to go, but Flinty's doing damage here. He's going to make sure that no X-Guys will go down, but Beezer with a bit of a beat doesn't quite find PK. Thought the dude was dead, but he's not. He's still alive, and this is getting increasingly more difficult. You got to look at the time now. 40 seconds is plenty if you have control of the site, but you don't. You've got nothing. But they continue to pressure in. Beezer, nothing for him. Casper takes down Eamon. Kraft now on the ground. It's going to be Beezer in a 1v5 ace clutch situation with 25 seconds on the board. The F90 rings out once, takes a kid kill. The double comes out, but he's so low on HP. The triple, he doesn't care. He says HP or no, I'm going for it all. Beezer, the bear, wants it all, but unfortunately, he's got to go for a plant with time ticking down so quickly. The defense, if they play this very, very smart, they will win. And well, Flinties didn't even have to play smart. He just had to back off a little bit, let Beezer hyper-aggress into him because he knew if he went for the plant, he'd be doomed. And that was a great 3K from Beezer, but unfortunately, it didn't mean match point for Synthetic.
I mean, Beezer might be a substitute, but he just bulldogged his way into the bomb site. And first attempt were too greedy. They were like those birds saying, mine, 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 and all just trying to pounce on Beezer, getting a free kill. And the only thing they found was their death. When you have the man advantage, it is incredibly imperative that you present yourself with that man advantage, challenging from multi angles instead of going for these 1v1 gunfights, because there's a reason why Big Beezer's on Versity. He's mechanically gifted, and he will punish you for that level of aggression. And I have to be critical once again of Synthetic and their droning. They are making far too many mistakes. Flint's wants to hide in corners, so if you're not checking your corners, you're just gonna die.
You are just gonna die. Looking at these kills right now. 12 for Flinties. PK 11 and 9. 776. If we look over at Synthetic, it goes from 9 to 9 to 6 to 5 to 3. So we're starting to see first attempt pull out on the kill game, but Synthetic are hanging in with them phenomenally well. They're doing great. Now, 2 people are going positive for Sin. Hazmat, as well as our dear friend Beezer, who's been picking up kills left, right, and center quite literally. That's like pretty much the direction he was shooting, and it's getting a little bit more tough. However, everybody on first attempt is still going positive. Flinties Why are you gonna do it to him, man? What are you doing this for? What are you go? Oh my goodness! Stop it! Stop it, Flinty! Stop it! No, Beezer, shut down. The hot hand is hot no more.
That was just absurd coming out of Beezer. He was looking the wrong direction. An unfortunate one of the most common rank spawn picks is going to cost him his life. And I was going to start the highlight. We all know utility consumption simulator, but the big daddy, the meta beforehand, was information denial simulator. And that's currently what's in play. It's going to be Mute Mozzie. This whole strategy is to destroy the 10 drones of Synthetic. And Beezer's drones are sniped away instantaneously. 20% of the drone economy sacrificed.
You sacrifice, man. You tap 2, you sacrifice a drone. What do you get for it? Hazmat dead on the ground as well. More frags to follow. Flinty's ducking and dipping. He's in the bathtub. He's followed up. What an aggressive move that Eamon will be able to capitalize on. That was a terrifying kill. Kraft evens the man count as Bait goes down. Now a 3-3. This is getting hot. So bad. Eamon and Kraft with Hazmat saying, did I Q ranked by accident? Is that what we're here for? Is that what's going on? Well, sometimes a little bit of rank strat will get you a surprise round. And in a nice little map like this, a surprise round will put you into a lead very quickly, as we are still tied. It's been back and forth. I mean, there's absolutely a fact that we are going to see 12 rounds. The question is, will they go only to those 12 rounds? I think OT is one of those things that will most likely be happening here for us. But at this point, with 1:10 to go, it's a 3v3.
Right now, the lobby is very quiet, except for all chat, as the banter continues to make things steamy. Synthetic is going to try to do their due diligence, removing the floorboards of first attempt, trying to make them to rotate into different avenues. And Casper is going to be forced to rotate, and he will be dead in that endeavor. This is going to be a huge change for Synthetic. Now they can push on through, but their droners have made another mistake. They don't know where Jewel was, but unable to land the shots of the P10. Roni, not enough bullets in the magazine, and it's now just a 1v3, a retake of the bomb site for Jewel. This is a very difficult position to be in, and he has to start to move now because a bomb is confirmed on the deck.
P10 Rodi, a phenomenal weapon. It'll tear through people, but the problem is, runs out of ammunition pretty dang quickly, and only a couple bullets will find the kill, but he's going to walk right, okay, he's not going to walk right into it. He's going to walk right into that. Takes down Selpad, but Kraft is quick on his heels. The Typing 9 will secure the life of our dear friend, the Mozbaz, and that's a round going to Synthetic. They take it to match point, and well, Synthetic looking very poised and very ready. They have but one round to end this and take us to map number 2 of Oregon. This is absolutely huge. They need to scare OT here. That is exactly what first attempt needs to do. They did take as long as they can, but will they? Chief, what is it in Villa about going to OT, man? It seems like this is the map if you want to go 32,000 rounds that you go here.
It's just teams making mistakes that are delivering them to overtime. That's what it's coming down to. First attempt had a huge man advantage. Flint's got 2 opening kills, and he overstayed his welcome. He was playing far too aggressively, and his life should have just been, well, not forfeit. He should have rotated back to the site or rotated over to a different location, probably towards the west, and just try to play his time, try to play his life, and just everybody from first attempt was peeking. That's exactly what Synthetic was doing in the beginning of this series. It seems like both of these rosters has changed. First attempt is known for being very structured, and right now they're playing very aggressive. And Synthetic, known for being very aggressive, is playing structured. It's like these two teams have changed their names in the overall overlay.
10 seconds remaining.
They say, hey, let's do a little switcheroo here. We'll do what you do, you will do what we do, and we'll see how it all goes. Right now, it's going pretty dang well for Synthetic. I think we can tell the play style of being a little bit more calculated can oftentimes pay dividends for you in the long game. And well, let's see, Beezer being very cautious. If I remember correctly, Beezer was taken off incredibly quickly as a little bit of a spawn peek came out, a little bit of a flinty run around happened, but no one will die within the first 20 seconds, which is a good sign. Hazmat back with the M762, back with the old goody weapon, is now dispatched with a 416. What a shot coming out. Poor Hazmat, dude. He opened up so great, but Flinty's as well going to take down Kraft. Is falling apart for Synthetic. They just needed one swift round to shut this map down, but it's slipping away quicker than anything. Like syrup dripping off of a pancake. It's losing traction. It's a 3v5, Chief, and this is going to be tough for Synthetic to win.
Now, with that man disadvantage, they have to be even more careful of Nitro Cells because they have the advantage of basically sending one down range, and if it misses, that's fine. They still have that huge overlay. Now, what is going to happen with Big Beezer as he's working his way through the bottom part of the map? If he isn't caught out, he can start to dish out pain and suffering. With the barbed wire in the doorways, most likely going to give himself away. Flint's is once again going to overstay his welcome, but he's going to take a little bit of HP loss and res himself back up. That's the beauty about Doc. He still has enough lethality to go for another engagement.
If we look at Flinty's right now, the man is heating up quickly. He's now 15-8. I mean, PK was once the big man to watch. He's been kind of stuck around that 11 range for a while now, and Hazmat as well has really slowed down. Beezer too, a lot of slowness here, but the refrag from Bees says there is no slow about it. Beautiful frag, will be refragged if he's not careful. Minimal HP is going to try to cover his angles, but Salt gets a frag. PK with a re, takes down Bees. It's now a 2v3. It's so bad and Amen. It is now PK on the ground, dying, going away. Amen tries to find a frag out of Jewel, but won't be able to secure the kill. More movements here as Saltbad somehow survives that, but Flinties is there to reclaim it. It's going to be a 1v1 here, but a beautiful play. Will be able to res the downed PK himself here if he can get it done, but he's got to be careful. Amen is on the hunt. He's on the prowl. He's ready to go. Flinties understands this. He knows this, but he really feels like he needs to get his friend up. Amen is in a good position, though. He's got the high ground, Anakin. You know what that means. 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 Oh, my goodness. He finds a kill on the PK, but it's Flinties still alive and well. Flinties is in a situation here. He's got a good angle with the MP5. He's going to find the kill. And there it is. We're going to overtime.
What a roller coaster of a round. 1 minute, Flinty's upstairs. The second minute, he's downstairs trying to res his teammate. He actually accomplished that goal. He brought his teammate back up to only find an SMG-11 in his face. So I appreciate the attempt coming out by Flinties. And actually, if he didn't res his teammate with a Doc Stem pistol, he was most likely dead because that was enough time to slow Amen down and enough time to allow Flinties to rotate all the way over almost to the China door and to set up his crossfire. And it seems like both these teams are making the same mistake, just being far too aggressive over and over again. We need them both to take a nice deep breath and understand how this map is being played. Now, we do have 1A starting on defense, but this is not a traditional overtime where you only have 3 rounds. It is the first team to win 2 rounds in a row.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Indeed,
bombs.
it's the infinite overtime. It can go as long as we need it to until two teams, or one team rather, wins those elusive 2 rounds in a row. The way I've formatted my notes, I do it digitally, as you know, but I prepared myself for only 15 rounds. So now I'm currently drawing extra lines just to see how far we will go. You gotta be prepared, guys. The Boy Scouts say it best, and I am very bad at doing so. This is a big one coming out for these guys. Both teams need it. Both teams want it. But I think first attempt, they're closer to those playoff dreams. They have them alive and well right now with Synthetic. They're starting to slip away a little bit. So first attempt, they need this more than anything. They need to get out here and get as many of those points. But going to overtime, it's going to limit that a little bit as Synthetic can start getting on board more and more.
And Flint's gonna go for another run out. He's just baiting the aggression.
gosh.
And there it goes. Amen's gonna be followed. Flinties is doing the same thing over and over again. Just running out and winning these engagements. Synthetic needs to have a contingency plan to actively deal with it. And you can also see the players in the lobby talking about the kill record that was set by Goria of Emergence a few play weeks ago on this exact map with 34 kills. PK is now going to be falling. He was instrumental in the start of this map, finding himself quickly to 11 frags, but after that, he has been far too quiet. And honestly, if PK is able to start getting these impact frags, that might be the answer to all of 1A's questions.
The answer to their questions, it could be indeed. Bit of a swing out. Saltbag goes down to Flinties. Well read. Well read indeed. He's now 19-8, looking good. Hazmat has completely stalled out. He's like a beautiful plane that has flown so high into the sky, like Icarus of old, but he's flown too close to the sun, and now, well, he's not really dropping. He's just stalled out. Flinties finds a triple kill onto Kraft. It's going to be up to Hazmat and Beezer. The frag does come out. It's Hazmat taking out Flinties, ends a potential ace, and now continues to move in. Doesn't find the big kills. A swing comes from Jewel. Now Beezer's left the load of anyone doing its big B's himself. Finds Casper a beautiful shot. Looks for more. The F90 is a weapon that we don't see a lot. Gridlock in general, an operator that we don't see a lot. A lot of people say that she's overlooked, that she's underrated. Will Beezer prove that statement here? He's got more kills than anyone on his team, but he's being choked out quite ferociously here. And with a minute to go, there's plenty of time, but the problem is he's right in the right in the nose of all the enemies.
To make things even worse, the diffuser's on the first floor, so he's just hanging out in the bomb site trying to get kills. He's trying to bait them from leaving their bunker positions. This could work out very well if first attempt plays this far too aggressive. Smoke grenades are going to go down range, and it's going to be Big Beezer who gets a little bit too aggressive and has his head removed from the SMG-11. A great showing once again by Flint. He's allowed to run around the entire map with nobody stopping him. Please start to utilize flank drones. Both of these rosters are guilty of it. Flank drones, flank drones, flank drones.
Oh, you gotta have them. I mean, you just have to. Switching over now, it's gonna be Aviator Games. First attempt, they've set themselves up brilliantly here to win it by round 14. They can do it. They can win 2 in a row here and now. They will be on the attack. If we look back to the past, we will understand that both teams fought hard. They both got in there and they both went 3-3 for their respective halves. They did a good job, but they're going to have to win 2 in a row at this point. They're going to have to show us what they got. Just like Rick and Morty would say, they got to show them what they got, baby. And this is huge because at this point, Synthetic need to get back on board. They need to extend this to at least round 15. And if they lose round 15, well, it's just going to keep going and going. Who knows how long? But first attempt, they're poised and ready. They've got their strike lined up. They're ready to just bowl it down, knock all the pins out of here. And, well, they could do it brilliantly. I'm excited to see if they can do it. But they've got Synthetic to chew through. They've got some great names there. However, I think first attempt has really been heating up here. I mean, just looking at them, they've been consistent the whole way through. However, they still haven't been able to just dominate Synthetic, which I think is great for Synthetic. And it shows that they've got some fight in them. And if that fight can last, I think they could take this in OT.
So far, the newest additions of both of these rosters are the top fraggers, showing that they could be permanent members. Now, like we keep saying, Big Beezer is from Bursty, so he'll be on Synthetic just for today, basically on loan. But Flintley on the other side has been a complete standout. He is showing that he definitely deserves to be an active member of 1A, and somebody that the entire community memes on. That is Hazmat. He is currently second most frags on Synthetic, and he's constantly getting some of the most impactful frags, changing the entire course of a round. And once again, he's going to be reattempting that. Over here on this bookshelf's extended hold, it's going to be his job to hold his ground and try to waste as much time as possible. But unfortunately, his teammate Saltbad will not be successful.
Yeah, Casper says, so long and good night. It's all bad death. The refrag from Kraft takes down Flinties. That's a big name off the board. The guy's got a 2.0 kill-death ratio, and he will no longer be of this earth. It is a big kill to get him off, but there's still more to chew through. You got PK looking deadly. You got Bait, Jewel, and Casper all looking formidable. This is a tough roster to go up against. You cannot give them any room because they will take an inch, they will go for the mile, and they will send us to Oregon within moments. Synthetic got to be on their best behavior here. They got to be able to play this perfectly well and just secure enough to go one more round. At the end of the day, that's all you got to do is go one more round until eventually you go 2 rounds in a row when you take the dub in OT. A lot of good drone work coming off, but will it be good enough? Beautiful shot by PK, takes down Hazmat. The man wasn't ready for it. And now, with Kraft taking significant amounts of damage, it's going to be a death of him. Jewel finds a kill into Kraft. It's a 2v4. We are kills away, 2 of them, from heading over to our next map of Oregon. It's Emin, Eamon, and Beezer. 11 and 11 wants to make it 12 and 11. Swings out with the SMG 11, but it will go his way. Jewel is now dead. Oh my gosh, Beezer! The double kill with the C4 with 35 on the board. It's a 2v2.
Suddenly, the entire course of this round has completely changed by one of the SMG-11 bros. Now, both of them are still alive and active, but the bomb is going to start to go on the deck. This is going to be changing the entire course of the round, as the attackers are soon going to become the defenders, but the bomb is confirmed. It is now bait. He is on his back. This is going to change the entire thing, as an air jab is going to give away one of the SMG-11 bros. That was Big Beezer on the rotate, who's going to be confirming the dead Big Bait. Well, how will things go on through as Casper's can hear the audio cue, one rotating on, but Beezer with the quad is able to secure the round as we move to another bracket of OT.
Beezer with the what? Beezer with the quad, baby. Beezer, you're insane. You're magnificent. We love you. We love you, Beezer. You're killing it on the floor, and that was one of the best showings we've seen in a while. Good grief. Absolutely clutched it up, whether it was with the gun, with the C4, with any form. He took him down, and it was a brilliant job with the SCS boys, the double SMG-11 bros, and now the tables have turned, the tide has shifted, and Synthetic are in a position to win out. The problem is, so far, it's been very difficult to win an attacking round. Look at Beezer go. He's eclipsed everybody besides Flinties. He says, you're not going for the kill record. It was me all along.
And that's the thing, right? We see these rosters making far too many mistakes. Synthetic should not have been able to do, well, it's basically that. Big Beezer is allowed to manipulate the map and manipulate the bomb sites in any way he chooses. He is a substitute after all. He doesn't have the level of synergy and coordination that is really required to be successful, but nonetheless, he's just able to bully his way into kills. Those are small mistakes and small adaptations that First Attempt needs to make. Now, we are highlighting this before we went live, is the fact that First Attempt does struggle against hyper-aggressive teams, and right now, Synthetic is once again playing hyper-aggressive. They're constantly changing their aggression dial for the first time that we've ever seen. So, it's nice to see a different Synthetic showing up.
Oh, they are showing up to show down, baby. That's just what they do. And at this point, they are very, very primed and ready. They're looking great. They've got an amazing roster. They've got people who are stepping up. Beezer is stepping up. Hazmat as well. They're looking very good. In fact, the whole team is doing quite well for themselves. But the same could be said for a First Attempt. All of them looking brilliant. Still, all of them going positive. But it doesn't mean that they've won already. It means that they're winning fights, but like you're saying, it seems that Hazmat's gunfights that he gets into, Beezer's gunfights that he gets into, he wins the big bad boys. He doesn't get impactless frags. He gets the most impactful frags of the night, keeping his team in it for another round, and that's exactly what we see here. Back on the attack, though, is going to be difficult. They don't like attacking, it seems. It's been a tough one in OT. However, downstairs could be a different story. This could be where First Attempt fall apart. PK says there is no such thing as a falling apart First Attempt, and Hazmat is dead off the bat.
In round number 5, we would see First Attempt rushing this bomb site. Synthetic was set up to do so, but they're going to think better about that and take this a little bit more traditionally, trying to take control of the top floor. Now, they do have control of the entire East, but they need to control everything back over into Trophy. We talk about Nitrocell Bonanza. There's the impact kill that's required as PK is going to find the scoreboard. It's been a while since he found those impact frags, but nonetheless, he's going to do so. Flint's is going to grip and rip a C4, but this is just a bait out the rotation of an attacking player, delivering some pain, a little bit of bullets down range, but not enough to be successful. That utility in the side of first attempt is going to be completely wasted into the void.
The void has been fed, my brother, and now Salbad and Beezer and Kraft are gonna have to do it. As PK on the triple kill, as Beezer will drop. It's a toughie situation here. Salbad tries to find one. Kraft will find PK. No ace for him. He was on the 3, but that will be all he gets. 2v4. Make that a 1v4 as Jewel finds another kill. The double kill from Jewel shuts them all down. And it's back and forth. It's a pendulum swinging. It's one after another. Who will break the cycle? The will must be shattered, but who will deliver the striking blow? I just don't know. Oh, Chief, no longer are we going to be in those typical 15 rounds. We've now moved to, well, now charted territory because we've done it here at SCS, but for many, uncharted. Round 16. What mysteries lie here? How are we going to get out of this, man? It seems so back and forth. What's going on? Why can't a team just shut them down?
It's because both rosters are making mistakes, and silly mistakes at that. Now, sure, a lot of teams start to just take that vertical control, start to swing that sledgehammer when executing into kitchen. The thing is, how are you setting up your crossfires? Do you have flank drones? Do you have air jabs watching your primary sledgehammer? Because if you aren't, you're just going to allow members of first attempt to walk up and re-engage those targets. Or you can go for the more macro strategy, clearing out all the way to the west. That is more time consuming and requires a little bit more utility, but it allows you to have that peace of mind since you don't have defenders that are lurking so close to you. Now we're going to be going over to the secondary bomb site, which is Trophy. We have seen first attempt do a great job of setting up their crossfires, the 360-degree crossfire. But Synthetic, if they're able to continuously play aggressively, they can shut that down.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, well, here, did you know this? By round 14, 12 opening kills have gone to first attempt. 50% of them have gone to Flinties.
Dang.
That's insane. This guy's cracked out of his mind, but he's surrounded by great players. I think first attempt is a really solid roster, but like you were saying, the mistakes are costing them what should have been an easy victory with the way they've been playing. Synthetic, capitalizing on the mistakes, have been able to pull themselves to OT to round 16. They've been performing great as well, but like you said, both teams making costly mistakes, huge mistakes that will probably come back to haunt them in their nightmares when they just miss the playoff dream by a point. This is tough. And first attempt, they don't need this. They need to be on the board, off the board, quick and snappy, but Flinties goes down early. A beautiful shot for Bees takes the top frag out of the lobby, and now they continue onward. The defense just OP, it seems, right now. A refrag looks to be happening, but Beezer escapes magically away. He teleports, he throws down his pocket sand in the eyes of the attackers and sprints away to safety. A minute has bled away, and now, well, now first attempt need to get on their horse and go for the win, baby. Do it, but no. Casper gets a little bit closer. Saltbat shut down.
Another overextension. Both of these rosters are constantly doing the same thing. Flinties I have to pick on here. He knew he was 180-degree crossfire. You can see him going back and forth between the two door frames. That was unbridled aggression that cost him his life. Saltbad also overextended. If he was able to play that a little bit more passively and waste the clock on down and let more attackers pass him on by, utilizing trigger discipline, that could have changed the entire course of the round. Now, Big Beezer is on his back right now, trying to crawl to safety. If the attackers get a sniff of this and understand what the situation is, they could find a free kill, but Beezer's able to rotate and get res. Crafty's going to work his way up the stairs and work his way to a 6-foot grave as the attackers once again have the man advantage, but time is still on their side for the most part.
Oh, about 50 seconds to go. Another frag comes out. It's going to be Hazmat dead by Bait. Another from Bait, the double kill. It's all Beezer. It always has been, but Beezer will not deliver them again. The map goes the way of the first attempt. There's a brilliant game that went a long time. It took a couple of rounds, but by round number 16, it would indeed fall the way of first attempt. A brilliant follow-up to what could have been a very extendable game. A beautiful job.
honestly a standout performance by the two individuals that aren't confirmed on either one of these rosters. That is Flinty and Big Beezer. And I said this before, I'll say it again. Hazmat showed that he deserves to be an SCS and he deserves to be on Synthetic because he is one of the best players right now.
Yeah, overall, when we come back to it, I am back, first of all. Desk Coast, typically not used to being it, but it was the battle of the subs. It was like naval warfare, if you want to go with that pun. It wasn't first attempt versus synthetic. It was Beezer versus Flinty's, two players coming into rosters that they're not necessarily comfortable with yet and still letting their guns do the talking. Sure, their fingers were doing a little bit of typing in chat, good banter all around, going back and forth. We saw some clapbacks here, some clapbacks there. Hazmat getting flamed by Flinties, and it going right back the other way. All in good fun as that game went the distance. It was a long one coming through, and I'm sure you guys are getting a little bit tired as well, but you guys did absolutely amazing.
Always great hearing your voice, C-Daps. Even if you're not my co-caster today, as my desk host, we love you. We're just waiting on some analysts to break down the first series for us, as it seems like Villa loves to go in limited overtime. Now only 2 brackets, not 26 rounds this time, so we're 10 rounds away from achieving that, so fortunately for us, but every single time I cast, I get the long runs.
Yeah, but we actually do have the analysts on deck, so we're going to let you guys rest your vocal cords and switch on over to the cool kids. That is both Pond as well as Mistakes. Welcome back. A little bit of a light change coming out of Pond, as he likes to be different every single time. First it was pinkish purple, now it's blue. But what do you have for us here on the analyst desk? How are you going to break down this barn burner 7-9 victory for first attempt that we just witnessed unfold?
Pod, can we first talk about Flinty's 20 kills?
Yeah, I mean, man, this match, I mean, I was watching, it was a barn burner. I mean, first attempt, killing it on the leaderboards the whole time, but Synthetic more so closing out a lot of those rounds. A lot of the rounds that first attempt won, they won by quite a bit. A lot of the rounds Synthetic won, it was kind of nail biter, but dogs. I mean, I always talk about some teams being dogs, Synthetic just absolute dogs. I mean, Beezer keeping them alive for a good majority of that game. But oh my gosh, the impact Flinties had. And before we talk about Flinties, I mean, Hazmat not doing terrible. I mean, expecting Hazmat to drop like -11, he actually kept up pretty well that game. He went 10 and 15. Always got to shout out my boy Hazmat, even though he's not really my boy. It's all in the hopes. He went 10 to 15, but PK and Flinties dominated that whole game. I mean, just the two of them really keeping first attempt alive. Flinty's being an absolute animal, dropping 20 kills, and sadly, first attempt decided to not take them up on that offer to let Flinty's get the kill record, but let Synthetic win. Instead, they decided to close it out in that round and not respond to Hazmat, which is a little sad, but not everyone could be Goria. But yeah, I mean, barn burner. Flinty's an absolute animal.
Yeah, I want to make a quick point that first attempt, all of their players got over 10 kills. That is insane coming from a team. That was just coordination and a half. Flinty's 20 kills, but everyone picking up their own weight. On both teams too. Synthetic, they were both fragging out. I mean, the rounds are either very close or not. It seems like a lot of rounds, first attempt was stuck in a 1v2 situation. And Synthetic were just ahead in that and not allowing that clutch factor out.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. Overall, every player on first attempt side was contributing, and that I'm going to give a lot of credit to their IGL in the form of Bait. He was on the hard support. He was doing his best. We're seeing him attempt this clutch. It was so close, but overall, there was just too little bit of a smart positioning coming out of Beezer. He was able to just play passive enough inside of Master and trying to overcome not only the time that you have to face, as well as the man disadvantage and the track stingers everywhere, stabbing into your feet, forcing your rotate off. He still padded a kill into his stats right here with a beautiful Mossberg shot, pumping Beezer full, but the time wasn't there. The clock struck midnight. The Cinderella story was over for Bait, even though he did get the 4 kills. But overall, first attempt just looked insanely strong through pretty much the entirety of the map. there were momentary flashes of brilliance coming out of Synthetic. You know, you had Kraft popping off, Beezer with that 4K clutch with the Nitro Cell, Hail Mary from downtown over the study wall was amazing. But at the end of the day, it was the Flinties show, and you can't really say much else. 20 kills, we've said it once, we've said it again, and it was just looking so great.
Yeah, one-sided for that, but I mean, the stats just they never really added up. I mean, Synthetic really grinding out a lot of these rounds, but every single player on the every single player on the side of first attempt. I mean, Mistakes has talked about that. Got 10 kills, but the second highest fragger, PK, had more kills than the top frag of a Beezer, and I think that's really talking about the way that they're winning out these rounds. First attempt really going for a lot of those kills and going for a little bit less of the objectives. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing from first attempt right now. I mean, Synthetic hasn't been the strongest that the roster has been at all season, and first attempt has a lot that they have to improve on. I'm really liking seeing Flinties out here. I believe Flinties played for the old Fractured Memories roster. And Fractured Memories has a special place in my heart from the last season of SCS, and absolutely loving it. Also, before I'm gonna bring it over to Mistakes to kind of talk a little bit, but I really got to give a big shout out to my co-host Smitatius or Smitty for getting picked up by Ape as their analyst. Big shout out to him. They just announced it a few minutes ago, and just to kind of give him some love out here. Big shout out, Smitty.
Yeah, big shout out to him. And as we see this round right here that went to overtime, it was just a weird round, right, Pon? Just like no one was on site. It was just people fighting off site on these red stairs, and Doc was just at the Flinties was at the forefront of it. And I really like the play Flinties tries to do right here. Tries to shoot through the floor, try to revive them. But then the Sludge realizes this and walks up astronomy stairs, and he knows this and plays a little bit more passive. And all it came down to was a 1v1, and Flitty, he's like the hero we don't deserve, but we need.
Yeah, I was sitting in the call here and I go, there's no way Flinty's about to do this. The brain on this man is about to come onto full display. He's not using the vertical pressure like an attacker. He's going to use it to snake a stim shot from upstairs to revive his teammate. But at the end of the day, didn't even need his teammate. He got a beautiful headshot onto E-Man and really shut down any of the hopes for that round coming through. The Sledge of E-Man, he was struggling through the first half of the map. Then that was sort of his awakening coming out from there. And then we went to overtime and we saw what's about to happen here. We know what Flinty's about to do.
Honestly, I don't think that was him like doing something smart there. I think he brought up his teammates straight up just to bait him to win out the 1v1. He was already in the 1v1 and he stemmed him to get him up just to bait out the kill from Edmund.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta win the 1v1 somehow.
Hey, you have to. I mean, they say stats don't matter in comps, so I mean, it's better him than Flinties, and I mean, Flinties did win out that round, so it worked out in the end, but I was dying when I saw that because I knew 100% that was definitely a bait. He wasn't trying to get him up, he was trying to get him baited out because he heard the Sledge turn in the corner.
Yeah, and unfortunately that is all the time we have on the analyst desk. So thank you so much. You guys did absolutely wonderfully coming forward on this. Big brains
Same with you,
flexing, wonderful
C-Daps.
rounds going down. But we're going to go ahead and switch on over to the main casters once again. We're going to be rejoined by not only Slay, but also Chief. How are you guys doing?
I see there's a new headgear over there for the Slayzilla. My friend, do you want to enlighten us on what's on your forehead?
You're
and
muted,
he's
Slay.
muted. Unfortunately, he just pulled a Chief Casts. I'm the only allowed to just, forget he's muted.
I'm here. I'm returning.
Hey!
Well, it's actually, get this, it's still my Survivor buff. That's the amazing thing. Can we get sponsored by Survivor buff? Can we get just buff in general? We get buffs with SCS on them. It'd be amazing. These things so versatile. You can wear them like a headband. You got a do-rag. You can be a pirate if you want. You can do anything with them. SCS got to get picked up by buff. Can we get someone on that? Can we write that down somewhere?
Well,
You know, no. I'm gonna veto that because we already have the only sponsor we could ever need, and they go by the name of HyperX, you know?
What about
Beautiful-
Inmate 78
beautiful
God?
headsets coming out, beautiful keyboards, whatever you so desire. But do you know what the coolest thing about HyperX is? The end of Hyper has a certain letter, and it's R. And those, never mind, my producers are saying that we're actually not ready. I was about to try to do a little segue to throw it back to you, but I'm getting conflicting comms coming out, and it's just really unfortunate. It's really jiving my flow. But you know, I am always happy to be with you guys, and you guys absolutely killed it on the first map. And now we might be ready again. You know, this is my first time desk hosting. As you can tell, it's an absolute dumpster fire.
Don't worry,
no,
your
please,
dumpster
you're
fire is
allowing it.
very controlled right now, so we appreciate
It's very
that.
warm.
nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
getting
warm.
Cold. It's like November,
It's
so I'm
nice
all
and
about a little bit of
cozy,
dumpster
like the
vibe.
barn burner we just saw on Villa coming through. But now the fire must leave as the observers are sending, and I bid you adieu. Good luck on your next map of Oregon.
Thank you
Goodbye,
so much.
CDAPs. We love you. We love
We
him.
always
Don't we
do
love
love
him,
our
Chief?
CDAPs.
We love
Oh
him
yes.
so much.
CDAPs, you're goaded, my friend. Hopefully we got to cast again. No, just kidding. I love my slaves though. You can't take them from me. Now, who will
Three-way
probably
tap.
be taken from this lobby? Well, that is Thatcher. He is taken from every lobby. He is the most hated individual on attack, most likely instantaneously relegated to the rubbish bin. But who will be joining him today? It was Synthetic removing Ace first in map number 1, so they could be repeating that. But Maverick tends to get removed a little bit more because Maverick tricking walls, especially upstairs and attic, can change the entire focus of a round. A normal crossfire can't really be established other than a 9-degree crossfire coming from games as well as trophy. Now, you could get aggressive and rotate somebody over to big window to try to set something up greater than 90 degrees, that close to 80-degree, 180-degree crossfire. But Maverick will allow you to basically set up that 360-degree crossfire. No, it's going to be the same attacker bands nonetheless for map number 1.
So long, Mr. Ace. It's been nice knowing you. We like you. We do. We think you're a cool guy. But Goyo of the Boyo. Goodbye, Mr. Goyo. I remember he used to have like 18 shield or something ridiculous. And the TCSD used to
Absolutely.
do like 500 damage. It used to do like you shoot one person, it's like electrical. It just goes through everyone and kills them. He got nerfed a little bit, but Maya is going to be another ban. That's a whole lot of bans coming out that we see very, very often. The only ban that we see as a discrepancy instead of Kaid, it'll be the Goyo coming out. And well, it shows how important these operators are. They're staples, they're keys, and well, what is another key? There's going to be winning here. Now, you talk about this a little bit. When does a new map into comp become less defender side? When do the attackers start to figure out what's going on here?
Well, actually, Oregon came into the meta much faster than its counterpart, Theme Park. I usually say it's about 8 months. And if we look at the Pro League standings from T1, it tends to be exactly that for the attacker meta to catch up with the defender meta. But for whatever reason, Oregon has been the exception to the rule, where it just instantly came into the meta and the attackers were more or less competent with dealing with the map. Now, they were struggling on the tertiary and quaternary bomb sites, which does have a lot of question marks, which is better. It really comes down to the teams. Now, I know there's individuals like Reaper, the former Pro League analyst, that says Dining Room is statistically the best bomb site. But if we look at NAL, at least from the first standing, stage number 1, Meeting Room was the best bomb site across every single map. Now, it has more or less evened in stage 2, where I actually believe it's just about exactly the same. So we're still seeing that attacker meta catch up, but nonetheless, it's basically equal.
Oh, it absolutely is, man. And we really, really do enjoy seeing how the maps work. And it's always interesting. It's so intriguing to how everything seems to shift around and simmer down, and stuff goes here, stuff goes there. The sites, what are the sites? They can be fluid. They can be very, very hardcore as to where you go. And one of the hardcore sites, it seems, is certainly down here in Laundry Supply. People love it. They like going to it. And First Attempt is going to have their first attempt of the map to go ahead and attack it. Lined up outside of the blue bunk, we got PK on the Mav. He's going to be an operator we see a whole lot. I love Maverick. He's one of my favorites, and he's going to be here with that lovely, lovely weapon of his. Flinties as well on the Ash, is prepared to do all sorts of Ash charges, but was Eamon prepared for Casper to take his head off. I don't think so. The M762 will ring out, and look at this. It's the FO12 on the stairs. So bad. Looking for flames here. He's got him on his gun, and he's going to be looking for more here. Starts to swing up, but Casper is waiting and ready. Decides against it. He's going to back off a little bit, and that's our first minute gone with only frag coming. His first attempt taking down Eamon. Ooh, well, as I say that, it's going to be Flinty's finding Saltbad.
Saltbad forced with an FO12 had no other option other than getting aggressive with his pistol, and well, that's going to be his demise as he's shut down for free. Now the J bunker extension is something that first attempt has to deal with ASAP, and it's going to be a full utility on dump. Crafty understands that his life might be forfeit as he's going to be locked into J bunker, so he will die at some point. But will he take somebody on down, trying to get aggressive, but a frag grenade is going to confirm his life? The member of Synthetic trying to reinforce that wall got off it and was taking far too much damage. Hazmat's going to fall off screen, but Beezer's going to come up big. MX4 Storm in hand, looking for a third, unable to confirm it.
I mean, Beezer gets into these situations where it looks like he can do it, and then he almost does it, and sometimes he do it, but other times he don't do it, and it's very sad to see. But when you're placed in a 1v5 situation or 1v anything, it's very tough to perform well, and first attempt did just a phenomenal job at, let's be honest, attacking. They did exactly what they needed to. They were able to execute perfectly, and it's really, really well done there. A great first round, and I think that bodes very well for them. If we talk about the play style of this map of Oregon, we kind of before we saw what happened to Villa with the play styles being switched up a little bit for a while there. But would you say that Oregon favors a more, I guess, aggressive, a hyper aggressive roster, or one that likes to go a little bit more by the book, a little bit mellower, a little bit more methodical? What kind of play style do you need to really excel on a map like Oregon?
I'm probably a very biased person to ask, as an IGL, I tend to go with structure first, aggressiveness second, and I would take this map in stages, confirming the location of the defenders, confirming their utility, and trying to deal with that in a systematic way until you go to your execute. Now, we have some teams be very aggressive. I believe it was one of the French rosters against G2, where they would do the rush strategy with Amaru through this exact dorm's window. And that works out well as pocket strategies and pocket aggression works in this map, but I would still lean more towards, being very strategic and actively dealing with operators every step of the way.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's gonna be interesting. I really do agree. I mean, it's kind of like having that base, right? If you can have a great base of being able to just go out and perform well and move correctly. Okay, Saltbad. Okay, thank you, sir, for that beautiful headshot. Flinty is dead immediately. The Buck has no chance to do Buck. And it's a good frag as well, as Saltbad just continues to aggress. I mean, we talk about which one performs better. And, well, I mean, unbridled aggression, certainly, if it's uncountered, will get you kills. But the problem is, first attempt will most likely be able to eventually read into these. They'll be able to say, okay, they like to do this, they like to do that. And if you're just doing the same aggressiveness over and over again, you're going to be countered very easily. It's when you can spring it on them, like we've been talking about all night. That's when it gets real good. And Beezer, taking his time here, doesn't have enough bullets in the Gyarados to perform a fully functional smiley face within a single revolving magazine, but he gets it done. Thanks, Bees.
Oh, we always love seeing that from the casting booth. And while we're talking about hyper aggression, and Synthetic is going to live up to their name, finding 2 early picks, and Salt was basically nowhere to be found in round number 1. Just trying to actively challenge with his pistol was not the play, but giving him a commando with an angled grip or a vertical grip at range is going to start to change things up. Beezer's going to follow the man with the smiley face. He's going to have to turn that smiley face into a frown, as a frag grenade might find its target. It's gonna bounce off the ceiling and do no damage whatsoever, but Caspers has worked his way up white stairs, bypassing the barbed wire altogether. The bells are not ringing for Synthetic. They have no idea that the danger from the white stairs might cost them. The M590 says hello as Jules gonna fall. The SMG-11 is gonna try to follow that on up. The sneaky peeky plays by 1A is no more.
That was funny, man. He came at him. Ooh, that's gonna be a lot of damage. Run away! Run away! He doesn't run away fast enough! Casper takes a kill on a Craft Boot, and now it's a 3v2. Synthetic still have the advantage. As Zelbad makes that a triple kill for his name. PK goes down. It's all up on Casper. The man's gonna have to go berserk here. If anyone can do it, it's gonna be Casper. The Zulfia, the friendly ghost, will be friendly no more because he's got a Z in his name. But the problem is, he might be seeing Z soon. If he doesn't get something going, he's gonna be put to bed. He's gonna have to fight his way out of this. He's got minimum utility left. He's got 2 lifelines, those of the flashy variant, the old slow your screen down variant. Finds a kill into Saltbad, shuts down his streak, and now we'll look for more. The RG-15 gives nothing to him as Hazmat collects the kill and will put themselves into a good situation as we are tied up 1-1 by round number 2.
And it seems like members of both rosters are constantly dying to the position, as I call it. Why was he there? And if you ever find yourself uttering those words as a player or just somebody watching Siege, that means you have made a mistake. If you're on attack and you say, why was he there? That means you didn't do your due diligence droning out the map. That means you weren't checking corners. And even if you have no drones available to you, that means you're still not face checking properly. Those are mistakes that are being made. And I have to also highlight great micro positioning on the side of Synthetic. They had the man advantage and they set themselves up not only in a crossfire, but in positions that most attacking teams aren't going to predict you being. Lying in the middle of the floor, most teams would say that will never work. But it works when you have no other option of getting aggressive. So understanding your level of aggression, your dial aggression, that's going to be how Synthetic wins. And they're really showing that they can play with a different aggression dial sometimes.
Sometimes. Oh man, tied up 1-1. Look at the kills right now. Saltbad was very aggressive and it worked out for him. Casper has the most kills in the lobby right now. It is, you know, when we're 2 rounds in, we're heading into our 3rd round, so it's very early to really look at the stats and see who's shining, but they've certainly shined in the first 2 rounds. Back downstairs to launch supply we will go. Time to do a little bit of washing. Get a couple of supplies down here, but the attack says no time for laundry detergent, no time for dryer sheets. It's time for us to come on in. They're moving with the aggressiveness of an unbridled angry horse or something of the likes, but Hazmat is ready and willing as well. The 416. What if he had the R4C? That'd be scary, but he's ready to go too. Beezer, on the other hand, is prepared with the red dot sight, looking for kills. Hazmat takes a lot of damage, down under 50 HP, but Flinties is around 50 HP as well. On the other half of that, he'll be on the upside of 50 HP. About a minute has begun to drain away. Saltbad having a nice little run outside. He says hi to the cow. Moo, says the cow. But he says it's time to keep on moving. He'll be all the way now on the other side of the map.
Well, they do call it Highway Windows, so he's going to utilize that name perfectly. Now, the attackers have control of Bunker, and that's just about it. They need the entire control of Blue Tarps, and they're just they're unable to deal with the micro positioning of the defenders, who are going to be rotating away from J Bunker. Synthetic understood that the last time that they were here, their overextension cost them their life, so they're not going to overextend. With 90 seconds left, retreating back into your bomb site is great time efficiency because the attackers haven't even started to set up their crossfires and they haven't even dealt with the offsite pressure of Salt that is now once again back in T2 working his way on down. Actually, that was Jewel, the audio cue that I heard.
Ooh, hearing audio cues. Look at you being all fancy and schnazzy. Craft is moving as well. Everybody prepared to do damage. Saltbad still looking very terrifying, but the rest of the squad looking absolutely frag heavy. And talking to frag heavy, it's a frag from PK to take down Hazmat. Even with a frag, but it's going to be bait with a refrag out of Saltbad. And now we're in a 3v4 situation. It's Eamon, Craft, and Bees. The Bees man is going to say, please do not try anything against me because I'll punish you all day. But it's PK going down to Craft. A beautiful frag evens the man in score, or well, score counts already even, but it evens the man count to a 3-3 with time beginning to tick down the offense. He's already thinking about what they're going to do. A lot of long angles here that can be held passively by the defense to make sure that the attack is not feeling confident. Smoke canister is going to be going out, waiting and wasting time, but Flinties is prepared and ready. The plant wants to be attempted here by Bait. The good coverage comes out. Caught tripping his craft. Beezer goes down to Flinties, a double kill, and now it is all upon Eamon. It is all the lone Ella with a Scorpion Evo. Doesn't find a kill, and he's in a real big, bad situation. Oh man, I don't know if he's getting out of this one alive. Yeah, he's not. He's not. The ARX200 shoots out and finds the head of Eamon, and that's another round going the way of first attempt. A brilliantly done round. And it'll find them another dub, as Laundry does not seem to be the defender's favor sight right now.
There's a fine line between retreating and giving up too much ground. Synthetic was playing the clock properly. They understood 90 seconds was burned. Let's now just hold our bomb site. But they're holding it far too passively and allowing the attackers to get just a little bit too much control of the map. One small mistake allows Flinty to just basically take control. A quick flash jump is going to force the defenders to rotate back in the closet, and that's going to be enough to set him up. Now, a Capcan is going to be shown, but 6 picked into Maestro. Once again, it looks like Synthetic's macro strategy is to try to waste as much time as possible. And they're, well, attempting that not only with their 6-pick phase, but the operators that they're actively bringing it. And we're going to be seeing the tertiary bomb site meeting and kitchen coming on through. And like I said earlier, in stage 1 of the NAL, this was the best bomb site across the entire map pool.
It's just a real nice sight, man. You get to have a meeting, you get to go get some snacks, you get to chill, you get to have a good time. It's a pretty fun one, man.
I'm glad you love this map, or this bomb site. Actually, I think it's one of the most fun to attack because it allows you to basically utilize buffer rooms in different ways. Most teams, especially when you're taking over from small tower, you have the dining side as well as showers to set up your buffer rooms and set up your crossfire. Now, on the other side of tower, you don't really have any buffer rooms other than T1 and technically T2, so that doesn't really allow you to set up crossfires. Saltbad has been playing a hyper-aggressive siege, and he's going to be buried very quickly. He's getting a little bit too brazen, too much bravado. He just needs to tone it down just slightly. And it appears my co-caster may have quickly just DC'd, so we're going to be stuck here at round number 4 with just the Chief Meister for the time being. The attackers still trying to take as much of their map control as possible. Hazmat is going to put a wrinkle in that strategy as he finds a kill on the Flints, the man that dropped a 20-plus bomb in the first series. No longer able to find any more kills in round number 4. Once again, Hazmat is going to do the Haz special, lying prone in the middle of a room, but he has no chance of rotating away unless he goes outside. He's going to bait the window, bait the door, saying that he's going to be now leaving, but he's still going to be holding his ground, playing into the stage roam brilliantly. Now, the attackers are a little bit slow and a little bit perplexed with where the offsite pressure is. And when you're holding meeting, it is imperative when you're a defender to hold as much of the second floor as long as possible. A lot of teams overlook that step and try to play it far too linearly. Because when you're holding buffer rooms, the best way to hold a buffer room is through vertical pressure. Crafty on an SMG-11 is going to find PK, and that is going to be your Maverick down. Not sure if he was able to confirm the wall in Attic. He will be able to. That's an extra avenue to rotate through. But with the limited amount of man count they have, it's most likely not going to be successful. As we approach the 2/3 mark, the attackers really have the entire control to be successful, but they're going to have to coordinate with their execute. All the defender utility is alive and active, particularly those Maestro Evil Eyes, which can delay time as well as the attacker's HP if they're looking in the wrong direction. So it's going to be on Bait to utilize his 2 hard breaches, usually over and split, and just do a full stint extension as Casper is looking in every possible hidey hole for the members of Synthetic. Now the crossfires have been established, so it's going to be on the attackers now to pounce. But have they done due diligence? Have they actually utilized vertical pressure to move away the defenders? And right now, it's most likely not going to be the case. Hazmat's going to work his way up the stairs, but no shots exchanged. A little bit delayed. He's going to find the kills. Now it's going to be the IGL. Stuck in a 1v4. He gets to confirm onto one. Still actively looking, pistol in hand, unable to find the impact. It's going to be Synthetic winning the tertiary bomb site, and the back and forth between these two rosters is going to continue to roll on through. Now, moving over to round number 5, we'll most likely see Dorms, since we've seen Synthetic really actively struggle taking the basement and defending the basement. They are setting up their crossfires, they're trying to set up their utility, but their utility just isn't wasting enough time. And that's one of the problems they have. And again, pardon, it looks like my co-caster will not be returning for the time being, so we might be pulling in our lovely desk host to sub in for our Slayzilla for the time being. But nonetheless, over to Kids Dorms as predicted, because Synthetic is just struggling altogether.
CDAP's time.
Hello, my friend. You were saying I'm relegated purely to the desk, but no longer, as you're going to be now casting, because Slayzilla is no longer here.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching along with the game, so it's looking pretty good so far. Unfortunately for Slay, his internet has not been doing as well. And I guess I'm going to be filling in now, but even up scoreline, it's 2-2. And if you're in the shoes of first attempt, you've already felt pretty strong about this attacking half because the expected defensive split would be 4-2 in favor of Synthetic. So, in theory, first attempt could kind of just like recline back in their chairs, put their hands above their head, their feet up on the backside of their desk, do nothing, and still feel pretty solid about this half.
That's a great way of looking at it. Now, the problem is with the strategy of bomb sites and Synthetic has gone with, Synthetic won meeting room, but since they went to it in round number 4, that bomb site will be locked to them until we go into overtime. And that's a big if, because we don't even know that. And it looks like Synthetic doesn't have strategy written down because Doc is reinforcing Attic with 20 seconds left in this round. If first attempt read into this, they could have rushed it, utilizing one of their at range. It's going to be Casper with his breaching launchers to deal with that, but the drones weren't really down range for the time being.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they have this extension in towards Attic, which will be heavily contested by the first attempt attackers, as well as pretty much everybody else is still on site, just kind of chilling, waiting for the push to come wherever it will come. Besides Hazmat. Hazmat's just kind of chilling in armory, has some angles opened up on that top master wall that he could lock down a master push if it comes that way, but most likely with the way that first attempt is setting up, they're getting ready to do a little bit of vertical destruction from down under, not with an Australian, but rather with the Canadian we know and love as Buck, that Flinties is wrecking up. They're doing their due diligence. They're just going to be droning. They're going to start blasting away. And they actually spot out Hazmat, who has made his way over to the Z hallway, but he's going to tuck tail and run, evident by the Nomad air jab and the plethora of drones that he is in quite a lot of danger, and he values his life so far.
So a common step for most attacking rosters is to utilize vertical destruction with your Ashe as well as your Zofia to basically destroy as much of the soft floor as possible over here. And while Frag Grenade is going to destroy the soft floor, but it's also going to destroy an attacker along the way. That was Flinties, the man that dropped a 20 bomb in the first map of this series. And bullets through the walls get down Amen, but fortunately for him, he is a doc, so he's going to self-res himself back up. But if he peeks in the wrong position, he could have his forehead removed. But that won't be happening.
Yeah, it's looking really great so far. The first Nitro Cell rips out as Casper's trying to sneak his way up the white stairs. But first attempt does have the man count advantage going towards on this execute, and added in with the damage that Salt Bad just felt, it's looking even more likely. E-Man's going to be doing what Docs do best. Stim shots right into the Australian, bringing him back on into the fight, but not for long as Casper's going to be able to take that from down below. Bees are trying to lock down this plant that's over towards the top of the white stairs. There's an impact nade coming out, but it can't do enough damage as E-Man will fall at the hands of Casper. It's a double kill for the Zofia, and it's all up to Beezer in a 1v4 situation. But it's the third for Casper as the Zofia strikes first and strikes hard right under the head of the Maestro, and will take another round for first attempt as they secure themselves a split half.
CDAPS, thank you so much for filling in, my friend. But Slayzilla has finally returned. Welcome back from the doom of the bad internet.
Oh, dude, I shouldn't have bad internet, man. We'd be paying like money for this, and it's like, oh, you made money because I suck. And I'm like, bro, you can't just die in the middle of a cast. That's not cool. It makes me sad, Chief. It makes me real sad.
Now, how much of that round did you actually miss? Because that was a great showing by first attempt. At least if we erase the frag grenade kill on the Flinties. But honestly, wonderful showing. We see that first attempt understands the macro strategy, and they're starting to change that strategy and make it more advantageous. Removing the floor, most teams think, oh, you just remove the floor that you're standing on. You never remove the floor that's above you. That's the correction that first attempt is making. They're really relying on that buck to do all the soft destruction from underneath. Now, unfortunate to first attempt, though, that strategy is going to fail because Flinty is going to now be bringing out the Ash. They were assuming that Synthetic would be going downstairs to basement, even though Synthetic has lost it twice.
Yeah, they have not had the best of luck, man. I do have to apologize for leaving you, man. It just feels bad. You feel so powerless. You just disappear from the face of the planet. You're like, oh no, what have I done? But I'm glad our man CDAPS was able to step in and be CDAPS for you. We love CDAPS. He's a great guy. Look at him. He's so cute. No, you guys can't see him, but I can. I'm looking at him right now. But at this point, first step looks like they've taken the lead. I mean, they've done a great job of it. I'm catching up on the kills, and who's this Casper guy, man? What's his deal? What's he been doing?
Well, Casper, as you said earlier, is just nice, friendly ghost who's just bearing his fangs a little bit. He doesn't like people who are synthetic, so he's just trying to shut them down as quickly as possible. And it looks like members of First Attempt are popping off on different maps, or Flint's was the big standout performer. And something that I actually should change what I said earlier. I said Flint's was not a confirmed member of the roster, but since I said that and to the start of map number 2, he is now officially a member of First Attempt. So nice round of applause from Flinties, the member from Season 3.
Well, what a guy, man. We love him. We love to see him. He's been performing very well, and you do have to give it to First Attempt that they're incredibly good at being consistent. Their kills all look very, very good. I like what they're doing, but I mean, if a team is going to prove that kills don't matter, it seems like it's this one. I mean, just last game, we saw pretty much everyone go positive, but it still went to extended OT. Of course, they did win, which is phenomenal for them. But you typically think if a whole team is going positive, they're going to be winning more rounds than not. But once again, it comes down to those mistakes that we've been seeing them, and they're trying to clean that up now. It's Eamon ready to go. He's aggressing through. He's going to be tacked up to very low HP, and he'll be finished off by the lovely, lovely weapon of bait. That's going to be a good kill from the Thermite. Hazmat as well will fall to Flinties. It's a 3v5 now as things are falling apart. Craft with the refrag takes down Casper. The C4 explodes the Soph, and now maybe things are going back the other way. PK finished off as well with the M870 of Craft, and now it is indeed a 3v3. It could go either which way, and with a minute to go, well, we've only got 60 seconds to see what's going to be happening here.
A lot of vigor and vim coming out from Synthetic, and that was costing them their lives. But all of a sudden, Synthetic is going to bring out their own reverse Uno card, delivering us back to equal man count. But how long will it actually last for? Because the attackers have an avenue to plant the bomb, they're going to have to first deal, I guess, with one of Saltbad's drones as well as his actual gun. And what was working out perfectly for First Attempt is going to start to fall through their fingertips. Jules going to show just a little bit too much of his body, and he's going to take a lot of HP. Bait's going to work his way on through, but the crossfire is going to be felled. And now it's just Jewel with just 10 HP. Almost impossible, looking in every direction, trying to see if somebody's going to get too aggressive. Saltbad is going to be the one getting aggressive, looking straight all the way over to Crafty, but unable to pull the trigger. Synthetic wins round number 6, 6-6 to the half.
What a job, man. Really, really back and forth game here from these two teams. It's a lot like what we saw on Villa. A nice little 3-3 half indeed. I mean, it's been First Attempt, it's been Synthetic, it's been First Attempt, it's been Synthetic, it's been First Attempt. And it was Synthetic again, believe it or not. So we're going to be switching the sides now. We'll go over to the blue pen because that's what I do. I got different pens for different sides. And at this point, I'm excited to see how the First Attempters will do as they go to the defense. Now, Laundry has not been the play. You'll have to, where did they go in round 5? What site did we head to in round 5?
So round number 5, we were to dorms, and then round number 6, we were also to dorms.
Okay.
And that was
perfect.
the bottom side that Synthetic seems to be the most comfortable on. Now
Hmm.
they can wipe the sweat off their brow since they won't be on defense anymore, but that actually might put a little bit more sweat on their brow since they're now attacking. And both of these are maybe not yet, but it just seems like rosters are struggling with dealing with these basements, and that is dealing with it on defense. So we're gonna have to see what strategy First Attempt is to break down that theme.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, typically you would like to see a 4-2 split come out from your defensive side. So that does give First Attempt a nice little victory on that front. However, as we've seen, nothing is permanent in this game. Anything can change suddenly and magically. And I'm excited to see how it will go. Looking at the kills for Synthetic. Craft looking quite frigid here. The man's cold. He's hot and cold. He's yes and he's no. He's all sorts of things. He's a straight up Katy Perry song the way he's acting. We love him. Kraft doing so well for himself, and I think he's performing exactly the way he needs to. Synthetic, however, do need to get on the board here, and with Hazmat back on the Zoph, we got Selpad ready to go on the Ash, preparing to get in here. Blue Bunker is such a highly contested spot. What makes Blue Bunker so viable, man? Why does every attacker want to go into the Blue Bunker?
I mean, there's no way you set up a crossfire as the defender, so that's why the defense are holding that. And well, what other avenue are you going to push on through? It's basically Fatal Funnel City, and the only way to break down the Fatal Funnel is pushing in through Bunker. And here comes the rush from Synthetic. There's obviously a read that they don't want to deal with the utility over on the east side of the map, so it's going to be the horses trying to go down the laundry stairs, but a lot of bullets have been sent into that door, and that is going to scream to First Attempt that it is going to be a rush down the laundry stairs, and Hazmat's going to fall in that endeavor.
Yep, that's going to be Hazmat dead. Now there's 4 remaining players on Synthetic's side. First Attempt with a nice little kill for Hazmat. He performed so well in the opening first round, or map rather, but slowed down and was able to help his team get to a nice victory. Beezer has had a bit of a slow start as well. He's 2 and 4, preparing to move in. He's ready to go. Another refrag. It's Amen taking him down. Beautiful shot. Self-bad as well. Will claim death over PK. And now it's a 4v3.
Nitrocell in hand, it's going to be sent. There are targets down range, but the shrapnel is not going to find one. Jules stuck in a crossfire, looking in multiple directions. He knows there's people coming down the white stairs as well as laundry, just trying to tap away at one, but somebody's going to get very aggressive. That's going to be A-Man. Jules going to fall. Now it's going to be on bait. The 1v2. Casper's going to have to also rotate back down to the site, and he's going to be successful in that. But Bates known with an M590 in hand, it's going to be 1 pump, 2 pumps, equal man count for the time being. Casper's rotation to deliver himself to a free kill. This round was almost certain going inside of Synthetic, but it's all going to crumble as Casper clutches the round on the back of Bates.
Oh my goodness, what a crazy round, dude. That was insane. A beautiful job coming out for the guys on First Attempt. Like you said, it looked so good for Synthetic, but the defense were able to crowd around, get back down to site, hold what they needed to, and they took the dub brilliantly so. And that's going to put a little bit of extra pressure onto the guys on Synthetic now. If they could take the lead there, that would have been huge, but now they're going to have to fight, understanding that they might struggle next time we go back to laundry. If they struggle on another site, this game could be at risk of being over. I mean, a 3-3 is setting up perfectly for the defense to get a 4-2 split and end it there. That's what they're shooting for. They want to win on 2 sites. They want to win on laundry. They want to win upstairs on kids. And then, you know what? If they lose down on meeting, that's chill. They want to get 2 that they can go to and have a confident chance of winning. So let's see if they can do that here. Synthetic need to be able to stem this and shut down the blood flow. They got to do it soon.
Hey, clearly our observer loves to type his way in all chat, just actively participating in the banter between these rosters. And First Attempt is going to break the curse of the basement, winning it very closely, but win nonetheless. And it looked like First Attempt wasn't understanding the aggression that Synthetic was bringing out through the 2 stairs. You're asking, why do most teams, attacking teams, elect just to push through the bunker? Well, the fatal funnels of those other 2 staircases tend to be a burial ground for most attackers. If you're unable to win your gunfights, you're just going to be shut on down. Now, Synthetic, a mechanically gifted team, was able to win that. Now, first attempt moving on to basement probably in round number 10 will read into that a little bit better. At least you'd hope that they would. Now, going over to the secondary bomb site, this is going to be dormed and more aggression coming on the side of first attempt, as it's going to be Jewel not only trying to snipe away drones, but sniping away players.
Ooh, Crafty taking a little bit of damage there. Gotta be careful. The man's still top fragging for his team, but it's gonna be so bad with a kill onto Flinties. Down goes the legend from map number 1. Has not performed quite as well, but that's okay. He's stepping back, and then the rest of his team go hard. But whether you like it or not, that opening kill does go the way of Synthetic. And now, with that man advantage, let's see what they do with it. The Moosey off the board early is a good little pick. Hazmat continues to move. The Maverick trick will be opening up. One of the great skills that you just must learn. It's a very dangerous skill. It's a very, very scary position to be in. It's like underwater welding, but the sharks are shooting at you, and it's also not underwater at all.
That's a great way of putting it. You're just not underwater. Now, maybe Rainbow Six Siege will bring out a water map, but for the time being, that will not be the case, or actually, that'll probably never be the case if we're going to be honest with ourselves. Well, what is going to be the case is this Nitrocell denial over here. Nitrocell is sent. A-Man's going to take a lot of damage, but the most important thing is he's alive and well as he pushes straight into 2 members of first attempt. The man advantage that was so early on is now going to start to crumble for Synthetic. And Kraft Moulin, who took that HP loss early on, is going to be the last remaining hard breacher, and he's going to be the one forced to rotate all the way over to Games if they want to set up the Games crossfire.
Oh man, that boy jumped 3 feet in the air. Something bad with frag got a JWL. That's Jewel dead, and now things are getting a little bit tighter for both sides with a minute to go. Synthetic has a lot of time if they want to use it, and a good shot comes out from Casper, tagging up the aggressing attacker, but won't quite take him down. It's the MPX ready to go. Phenomenal weapon, but you've got the Alda as well coming out. You also have a little bit of an SMG-11. Everyone is dead now. It's a 1v3 as Bait and PK pick up Crafton so bad. It's all Beezer. It always has been. And Beezer, well, Beezer is going to have to perform like none other. He's a great, great player. One of the best. They call him Big Bees for a reason. But will the Big Bees please do something cool with the bee's knees here? He's moving through all sorts of things, but it'll be the Alda to take him down. A lot of dodging and swifting and swirling, but at the end of the day, too many angles being held and not enough time to check everyone. Look at the guy behind the bunks. There's no way you're getting out of that alive.
So you're highlighting... So earlier you're asking about very linear and structured attacks. They work very well on Oregon, but there's a contingency to that. That's the fact that you have to win your gunfights. And if you start to lose hard breachers early on, your strategy is going to go straight out to the win. Now, there are a few rosters when strategy just starts to crumble, they can be successful. The old Homeland roster being led by Heems was a great example of that. And honestly, today in the In Control Nation game, we saw exactly that. We saw In Control Nation's strategy basically get thrown out the window because they were forced to a 4v5. And no surprise there, there are 2 members of the old Homeland roster bringing the mechanical skill as well as that structure to a team. Now, the quaternary bomb site is going to rear its ugly head here in round number 9. And honestly, what makes Oregon such a unique map is all 4 bomb sites are viable, and they tend to be played throughout a series.
Oh, it's true. You can go anywhere you want. It really is nice. There's not a lot of maps that have that capacity to say that you can go anywhere. A lot of them have a site that is just hailed as the worst in the world, like Stock. Good old Stock
Are
bar.
you hating on Barroom Stock, the best bomb site in the entire game?
Not hating, just saying that it doesn't get a whole lot of play in time. Although it is fun to see it. I mean, I got my first ace on PC on a bar stock defense. I was a doc on bar stock, and people just kept walking in to stock, and I just kept killing them.
That was total sarcasm because that map or that bomb site is complete and utter doo-doo.
It's bad.
But honestly, Console might be the only map that has all 4 viable bomb sites. And actually, CEO's actually fallen out of the meta and Split has come in. Now, Split is a very difficult bomb site to hold because it requires the highest level of coordination and synergy between a roster. But if you've developed that, Split will always be successful for you. But that is a huge if. Now it's going to be on Synthetic to deal with the offsite pressure over here on the top floor, and how quickly they deal with that and how effective they are on this roam clear is going to be, well, I guess directly how effective Synthetic will be.
Oh man, it is a direct correlation. Damage taken by Jewel, gonna place him under 50 HP. Hazmat and Saltbad take a little bit, but not much in comparison. They've got some good angles here. They've got a good amount of work they can do. Craft looking deadly. A lot of flashbangs happening as well. The Type 89 is such a phenomenal weapon. The AX200 is not going to be seen. It's the AK-74M instead. And he sees the shadow of a leg. He knows that there's someone there, but will he capitalize on the knowledge? Oh, man. He just walked in. He walked in and he died, but it's going to be a refrag. PK finds Saltbad. PK now down to the ground, bleeding out. Will be finished off. There it is. It's Amen finding him. The refrag does happen. There's no refrag, actually, because Synthetic are just demolishing them. It's all Flinties, but Flinties is shut down as well. Amen on the double kill. It's Bait wanting to take us to match point, but he's in a bad situation. Amen is 6-6 right now. The man has come alive, and I'm loving every second of it. The plant being attempted will go down shortly. It's all Bait looking to do magic with the SMG-11.
The early man control for first attempt has completely gone the other direction. Bait is looking at every possible angle, but he's going to look the wrong way, unsuspecting the prone angle from Amen. And you were highlighting the story. Well, Amen was just struggling in the first map. He struggles no longer being one of the best players here on Oregon. And well, Synthetic is one round away from tying us up and delivering us to a guaranteed 12 rounds. That is exactly where we found ourselves in the first map of this series, but we're going to be going downstairs to basement. A bomb site that Synthetic attempted to rush because they couldn't actively deal with J Bunker. The rush almost worked out, but it's something that they can't replicate.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. You rush once, it's, fool on, shame on me. Fool me twice. It doesn't happen, right? You're able to shut him down. The Monty coming out is an exciting little bit of a change. The thicky French boy will be coming out in the Rocky Mountain himself. Is ready to go. Monty Supply, a very powerful site. Like you're saying, I mean, it's very difficult to get a good handle. And if you do get a good handle, it's because you got that J Bunker crunched down and you're starting to open up. And it kind of spread almost like a little bit of a virus, man, getting in there, getting in all the cracks and setting yourself up for a beautiful plant and post-plant situation. This site is incredibly hard to attack. It's incredibly hard to do well, and it really does come down to the simple fact that there's not a lot you can do vertically. You have very minimal verticality control. You can't pressure people off their spots. If they want to sit there, you're going to have to go in horizontally and say, excuse me, sir, Bait, I don't like you there. I want you to move away. And he'll say, okay, let me just reinforce as I leave. And then you're like, oh no, now he's locked us out. So look at these guys. They're all stacked up, ready to go right through blue. Of course, it's what you got to do is go through blue. But the Monty is a living, walking drone. He gives great intel. But the problem is when you bring a Monty, you don't get the access to a powerful primary weapon.
This is actually a great read coming on the side of Synthetic. The best way of breaking down the utility meta as well as the drone meta, because we currently see Mute Mozzie as a factor, is Monty. And that was the big strategy that a lot of teams were bringing. And look at the control that Monty has already had. All of J Bonker has completely fallen, as well as the North Stairs. Monty might not have a good primary weapon, but he has the element of fear. And you can just see everybody on first attempt forced to rotate away. Now he has to deal with an M590 in hand, and PK off screen is going to get a kill with his own M590. But the Monty is going to be filling in the rotation, the door frame for the time being, and hopefully forcing smoke grenades to come on through. But Bait is already utilized, and PK is going to fall as everybody on Synthetic is getting their important frags. Flint's is supposed to go for a rotate. He deals with one air jab, but the other one says not today.
Not today, he says to the head of Hazmat, tries to swing around. Flinty's on full HP, but he's in a 1v3 against a Monty. It's not good. It really isn't. It's a bad situation to be in, and he's going to have to fight his way out. The 556 of Eamon is prepared to just tear him apart as well, but the lovely AUG 3 is sneaking on down. It's got a nice 1.5 side, but hello. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. What's up? There's no way he's winning this post-plant situation, and if he does, one of the biggest throws we'll see. But of course, Synthetic say, no throw from us. We take us all the way to round number 11. We're tied up, and we're ready to go hard.
Well, as everybody in Twitch chat says, LMG go burr. And wow, the LMGE has seen a lot of love. And you can actually see why it's impactful. It allows you just to hold mouse 1, and 150 bullets later, you're most likely going to land a headshot in somewhere of that sequence. And Laundry Room has now fallen to the members of First Attempt, and the Montaigne is going to be brought out once again. Now, if the defenders read into this, they should not have the J bunker extension and instead try to deal directly with the Monty. Now, Monty will be 6-picked away from into a more traditional Maverick.
A little bait and switch there. They're trying to say, hey, get worried, and then they're going to go for a little bit more of that traditional Maverick, like you were saying. So we'll see if this affects the way that the defense sets up, if they're going to try to do any extra precautions against the visible Monty that was being shown to them. I mean, Laundry has just not been the best bomb site for the defenders so far. We saw a couple good wins on it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it really has been an attacker-sided I guess it has been evens, so certainly not the 4-2 that we're accustomed to. But a very good job coming from Synthetic. They're certainly not out of this yet. They could win if they win these 2 rounds here and they take them all home. That'd be a huge dub. That'd be 4 rounds in a row to them. It'd be crazy hard, but I mean, it's a possibility. At the same time, First Attempt could win 2 in a row and take us home without going to the OT land. But once again, I think these teams are so well matched up. I think it's an inevitable situation that we do eventually go to the O of T's. And well, the question is, how far will we go when we get there? But then again, I could be very wrong, and one of these teams could pop off and win 2 in a row.
Uh-oh, PK has yet to be droned. Finally, he's going to be droned out, but he has no way of rotating from this spot. More drones going to work his way on. He's attempting to rotate, and he's going to be successful in that, and Jules going to fall elsewhere. Jules going to get the kill and fell Hezbad. A huge mistake on the side of Synthetic. This round should have been completely different, but finally, Crapulin's going to get the kill onto Jewel. The offside pressure slightly alleviated as he's going to find another kill onto Flint. This round is just spicing up more and more. Now it's going to be Bates' turn to hold the J bunker for as long as possible. The flashbang dump's going to work his way on in, but Bates going to hold his ground.
I love how they're using those flashbangs to like move someone through. It's like a little game they play, but the game is called the M590, tearing you to shreds. Bait, stop! Finally, he's put to rest. It's gonna be the 556 taking him down. Eamon performing just phenomenally right now. It's gonna be Eamon and Kraft left alone. It's actually a 10-9 going up against a 10-9, so the kill deaths very similar between these 2 opposing rosters, or what's left of them. But the time advantage certainly goes to the hand of Synthetic. They got all the time in the world, still just under half of it. But C4 in hand from Casper going to be eaten out, will miss, not doing any damage at all, it seems. And well, things are looking interesting here. You've got some good operators on the end of both sides. With the T5 SMG now take it away, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because the SMG 11 finds a headshot into Kraft, and now it's just Eamon. We've been talking about how good he is, but unfortunately the M590 is just better. A blast to the chest would take him off the map, and that's the round going all the way of the lovely First Attempters, and they've taken us to match point in round number 12.
What a round filled with ups and downs for both of these rosters. And once again, the motif is going to be who makes the least amount of mistakes. And that was First Attempt in round number 11, where they were caught off on terrible positioning. Their micro positioning should have been a free kill for the attackers. But that SMG-11 bro was able to rotate to safety and then clutch the round for his team. If he was held in that position, it would have been completely different. Jules' micro positioning wasn't any better, stuck on T2 with no way of leaving other than standing his ground and losing that gunfight. Once again, unbridled aggression almost cost the roster their lives, but fortunately for first attempt, they prayed just a little bit harder to lure Tachanka.
Oh, I mean, it absolutely could have gone a different way. We saw the Zofia have her lifeline out. If the M762 was equipped, that rotating SMG bro would have been rotating straight to the deathbed of his choosing. And, well, it definitely won the round for first attempt. I feel like that was an essential part of the puzzle that got them the dub. And now they are sitting on match point. Synthetic have been good at being in match point. They've been good at fighting out of it. If we look back and reminisce on what happened before, it's been a very, very interesting night. Synthetic have been placing them into good situations, and First Attempt has fought out of those. And now is the time for Synthetic to fight their way out of this one here in regulations. They gotta be able to do it. They gotta be able to put the foot down and say, we will go 3-3 split. We will not allow this to happen. And if they do, that is just phenomenal. They would be looking so good, but they have to take us to OT at this point. The only team who can win within these 12 rounds is going to be First Attempt. They've set themselves up nicely, and let's see if they can close it up even nicer.
Now, Synthetic has opened up games walls, at least with a breaching launcher to deny any electric units on that wall. Now, First Attempt isn't bringing a Bandit or a Kaid, and they're going to be relying on impact tricking the game's wall. And if First Attempt, or if Synthetic isn't prepared for that, the majority of their hard breach utility of Amen is going to be shut down for free. Wow, the thermite shards are going to go on the wall. It's not going to be impact tricked away. Sometimes words are just hard and you just can't articulate a coherent sentence.
Man, I feel that all the time, dude. I understand. We know you're paid, my boy, but so far no one has known the pain of death quite yet. Some good openings are happening for Synthetic, but they got to be able to capitalize on the openings they're creating. Amen's going to take a little bit of damage down around 50 HP, but Flinky is much worse for wear at around 5 HP. The guy's got to be real careful. The aggression will now begin to be pushed in. Flinty's in a tough position. Certainly not going 20 and 10 right now, but still wants to be a formidable opponent for his enemies. A good Steve 4 from Casper finishes off what was left of Amen, and now that advantage goes to... Well, not to Synthetic at all. It does now as Saltbad gets a double kill. Pecan Flinty's down. Saltbad's on the floor, though. Beezer is looking to fight out of this. Beautiful shot, but it goes the other way. Casper finds Beezer. Hazmat takes down Jewel, but Hazmat on the double kill takes down Casper. It's all on bait. In a 1v3, make that a 1v2 as Hazmat will follow the M870. That's the M590, excuse me. You get my shotguns mixed up because it needs an ACOG. Saltbad and Kraft, what will they do? Oh boy, 40 seconds on the clock. This man's in a toughie. Makes it a 1v1. Swings around. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. They stay alive. Attackers win, and we go to OT. Oh my goodness.
Wow, that round was back and forth between these two teams. First attempt getting far too aggressive. They were making mistakes. They had control of the round. Fortunately for them, they have an M590 in hand, almost able to clutch the entire series out. But it's not going to go that way. This is going to be our second overtime. And technically, if First Attempt wins this map's overtime, they will still win the entire series. And they're going to be starting on attack. Now, that technically doesn't mean all that much, simply because you have to win 2 rounds in a row to be successful.
What a crazy round, man. I thought they finished it off with that M590 blast, but alas, it was not happening. A beautiful job from Synthetic. They stay alive. They keep themselves in it. They're fighting so hard. And it's looking real good for them. I like what we see from these guys. I think they're a good squad. I'm prepared to see how far we go as well. Very, very interesting tonight. 3-3s across the board. They're very well matched up, but First Attempt were able to edge it out in map number 1. Will they edge it out again here on map number 2? That's a big question. Synthetic want to be able to get on the board big time. with players like Salt, Eamon, and Kraft Bulin alongside Hazmat and Beezer, you got a great chance at doing it. But look at the opposition. PK, Casper, Bait, all deadly. Flinties, a phenomenal player. And then, of course, Jewel, who has had his days as well in map number 1. He's going to be with that ARX 200. I love a little bit of Nomad play, but upstairs to dorms is going to be the first sight of OT. I wrote DOT because I was saying OT. That's my bad. Gosh dang it.
So one of the problems with going into infinite overtime and the fact that you have to win 2 in a row, if you don't have a comfortable bomb site, you could throw in an entire series just like that. And remember, Synthetic hasn't won basement. So if we're able to read into their macro strategy and how they're defending these rounds, most likely dorms will go in favor of Synthetic. And then first attempt is going to win their defense, whether or not they go downstairs to basement or upstairs to dorms. They've won both of those bomb sites. Then in the following round, round 15, that's going to be Synthetic's turn to go all the way over to the basement. But before we can even talk about round 15, we have to talk about round 13. And it's going to be how quickly First Attempt is able to get control of the map and Games Wall opening up for free, but they haven't dealt with the offsite pressure over in Meeting and Kitchen.
Nope, offside pressure is still going to be a very, very, very scary thing. And look at these guys. They're just so close to each other. Beezer steals the super shorty away, but it'll be a little bit of a refrag as Hazmat takes down Bait, but Flinties takes down Hazmat. Now 4v4. Hazmat, not performing terribly at all. I think he's doing very well for himself. Not positive, but certainly performing that as I would expect from the child prodigy he is. You gotta start somewhere, man. It'd be no fun if you're already OP, Mr. Hazmat. And at this point, with him off the board, you've got a Jaeger for a little bit of Thermite. Not bad. Thermite used a little bit of a utility already, and now they're going to continue their aggression in Kids Dorms. Has been a very successful site when it comes to the guys on Synthetic on their defense. They did well here, and well, they continue to do well as long as they can keep winning these big gunfights. Flinties looks for something. It'll be Kraft taking out PK 4v3 with less than a minute to go. Flinties with a refrag takes down Saltbat, swings around. It's not going to be him. It's going to be Casper fighting Crafty, and now it's a 2v3.
Now it comes down to the most important thing to say as an IGL. Take control. That is going to be Flint's turn to do so as Jewel works up the stairs, but the flank from Beezer is going to shut him on down. But this is confirming that Beezer is located on white. And this is going to force the defender or the attackers to put the bomb on the deck. Casper's going to get far too aggressive and shut down for free. A huge overextension is now delivered us to a 1v1 as Flinty is going to be putting the bomb down. The two newest members of both these teams going to a 1v1.
If anyone could do it, it's Beezer. If anyone could do it, it's the big Bees himself. Look at him, he's nervous. You can tell by the way he's moving with his mouse, with his Q and E's. He's going hard here. He's ready to take it. Because like you said, they really do need to get the dub here because First Attempt have a great chance of winning on their defensive first try. They have a great chance of doing that. But Beezer, the time is running down in a post-plant. It's very, very, very unlikely that you win this one out if Flinties plays correctly. It should be an easy dub for the attacking side, and the shutdown with the R4C confirm that First Attempt take round number 13 and put themselves into OTMP. That's overtime match point. In this, well, this is a bad situation here because we're gonna have to win. We're gonna have to see like a string of attacks one now. They've flipped it on their head, and Synthetic gonna have to really perform here. As let's see which side we go to. What's it gonna be? Where are we going?
Basement.
Laundry.
Yep.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, because, I mean, First Attempt has just been better on basement, except when the Monty was in play, and currently Synthetic is not showing Monty. Now, you're highlighting attacker-sided overtimes, and, well, our second longest game ever played, that's across T1 all the way down to T3, the 26-rounder, was extremely defender-sided, both teams going 5-1 splits, and then going to attacker-sided. So it has happened before, and it could happen again. It's just going to be on which team basically makes the least amount of mistakes. And when you have the round advantage, where if you win the next round, that is your turn to win the entire series, we tend to see teams play it very passively and play not to lose. You should never be playing not to lose. You should be playing to win every single thing. And when you're on attack, with that round loss, you have nothing to gain other than just clicking heads and attempting the victory. Also, we're going to be seeing Mira for the first time this series, as she's going to be probably set up looking all the way over to the the bunker.
What if you could have vertical mirror windows? How trippy would that be, man? You just chuck one down on the floor. Like, look at that. It'd
That would be
super
awfully
useful.
terrifying. No, that actually might be incredibly useful. You
think
just
so?
stand on it, right? Okay,
That's
so
true.
imagine like it's like a trap door that's a mirror window.
Oh no.
And then you
no.
just stand on it to the left and you just slam the dude underneath you.
Or you could like fall through it. It's just an instant trapdoor. That is true though. I mean, you would never know what's above you. You could just be like, or below you. You don't know. It's just like, Shasha, someone is there, and that'd be kind of fun. Nice little vertical. I mean, we're getting customizable Hibana pellets. I want customizable mirror windows. I want to have like a wraparound. I want to have a massive window. I'm talking like we're redesigning everything. I want this to be beautiful. A nice little circular window, like on a ship.
A porthole?
Yeah, on a porthole. That'd be great, man. I think Mira should have more custom buy. Oh my goodness, Hazmat going off. Takes down Flinties. The first frag of the round goes the way of Synthetic. And well, Chief, that's exactly what they needed to do.
Well, the opening kill goes perfectly in favor of Synthetic, playing very aggressively, and first attempt playing just far too passively. One of their best fraggers now eliminated, and it's now going to be Jewel forced to fill in the shoes of Flinty, as his position is known in pillars. He's going to try to peek both sides, but he's going to be failed in that endeavor. And now the attacker side at OTs, once again, looks like it's going to be the theme. But first attempt has clutched this bomb site once before, and they're going to be trying to attempt that again. A Nitro Cell is going to be sent out far too early. There's nobody anywhere close to that postal code.
No, ain't nobody even there, man. You missed it by a mile, and now you've wasted a little bit of utility. So right now, the attackers have a grand advantage of a 2-man, but that's going to be cut down by the C4 that was in the correct postal code. Hazmat will go explodey bye-bye, but Casper is waiting and ready as well. A lot of fast-firing weapons here, but it's going to be a nade to get out. PK, beautifully timed by Kraft. The plant going down will be deadly here. Bait with a frag out of Beezer, but the plant is going to go off now at 3v2. Casper needs something big here. Bait looking for more as well, but a post plant is going to be so difficult. It'd be a really, really bad showing here. A real bad showing for the guys on the offense to lose this one out. I don't know, man. With time ticking down so quickly, first half, it looks like we're going to be keeping on the lovely train of this attacker-sided OT. Casper dead now, makes it a 1v3, and there it is. Amen. The god of this second map has come to deliver his team, and he's doing such a good job of it. Look at that movement. Oh my goodness.
Once again, first attempt is going to lose this round simply because their utility usage was bad. That Nitro Cell was sent out far too early, and if he waited about 20 seconds, there were 4 members of Synthetic in E-Box. That Nitro Cell would have killed everybody and ended the round. It would have been a highlight clip, but you have to be patient, play the clock, and play your utility. The moment you start to skip steps, you're going to start to lose round. We've been saying this in both overtimes. The team that makes the least amount of mistakes is going to be the team that wins. And first attempt was just making far too many mistakes. Now we're highlighting all the way back in round 13. When we go over to round number 5, Synthetic has to go to the basement, but they're actually going to be bringing out their tertiary bomb site of Meeting Room, a bomb site that they had success on the one time they went here.
The one time they went here, back on round 4, if my notes serve me correctly. They did indeed win. A very good job. That was actually, was that the only time we saw Meeting? We saw Kitchen come out? Wow. Okay, so our tertiary and what do you call it? Quaternary?
Quaternary, yeah.
Quaternary, I love that. Those sites have been seen very, very, very rarely tonight, but well, sometimes you got to pull out the rare to get the dub, and that's exactly what Synthetic is going to be going for here. To be honest, an attacker-sided little OT should play in favor for the defense eventually, right? I mean, the defense should have a chance of winning at some point, but I mean, according to your 26-round cast, it just never ends. So who knows what could happen here, but you have to just think that at some point, the defensive team will be able to shut them down. The question is when, where, and why, and how, and will they ever be able to do it? It makes sense more so for a defender-sided OT to crumble because you eventually can't go to your strong sites. You've got to rotate off of them. But here, when the attacking team is just consistently winning, and it doesn't matter what side you go to, it's a little bit of a more interesting situation when it comes down to it.
So the last time we were here in round number 4, there was a castle in play, and this was forcing the attackers of first attempt to utilize a lot of their soft destruction. Now those will no longer be in effect, and it looks like Synthetic is trying to go for a lot more of an aggressive stance, especially here with Crafty with his M590 in hand playing the elbow as much as possible. He has 2 ADSs to back him up, and the other ADS is currently over in Raptors. A lot of drones from first attempt are going to work its way all the way from the north down to south of Attic, but they're going to be sniped away one by one, nerfing the drone economy of the attackers.
The drone economy is something we don't talk about a lot, but we also talk about Casper getting headshots at Hazmat. Hazmat dead. And he's going to have a nice little shot in the chat. Very polite of Hazmat. We love to see a nice polite child prodigy. But that's going to be the advantage going to first attempt. They can use this well. They'll keep it going, and we'll have this infinite OT continue to be infinite and infinite and infinite. It's got to end at some point, but when will it ever do so? They're lined up. They're ready to go. A bad swing here will cost his life. Nade goes out, but PK on the floor. Kraft is going to survive that. He'll be shut down from, it looks like Casper, and now the pickup goes onto PK. It's now a 3v5, and this is getting worse and worse for the guys on Synthetic. Their defense is crumbling. They're getting nothing for all this work. They're dying, and they're not getting any rewards for it. And if this continues to go the way within these next 50 seconds, first attempt will secure yet another attacking round and will be sailed into round 16, which is pretty reminiscent of what happened on Villa.
Now the attackers have control of the second floor, but they have to utilize vertical destruction and force the defenders away. Meeting could turn into a no man's land if you're able to play off that top hatch. Bees is going to be rotating away and actually going through basement. Hold mouse number 1 with the Alda, but the Alda is going to miss its shots. Bees are now being very sneaky coming up the back stairs. He might not be known. He's looking for the air jab. The air jab is going to give away, and that's going to be BK going for the wide swing. A flawless round for first attempt, and this is going to be another attempt from them to try to win a defensive round.
Yeah, can we talk about the scrolling text at the bottom? I think we saw like Hazmat is dead, and then we just saw a Beezer moment. I love that, man. That's great. That's just some nice little charm.
Oh yeah, the banter between these rosters is great. And I maybe stirred a little bit up on Twitter earlier today, and you can kind of see that spilling over into this game. But everybody's still friends with each other at the end of the day, and it's all for good and fun.
Well, back to the offense will be Synthetic, and this is once again very reminiscent of what happened at Villa. They could shut him down easily for the defensive side as we head now to kids' dorms. I mean, if I'm the guys on Synthetic, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. Like, you have to start performing really well here. It's starting to get riskier and riskier. But the great thing is, you either lose or you put yourself into the winnable situation. That's a great thing. Yeah, I mean, there's no like in between here. You either go down or you go up. And well, Synthetic just got to keep on going up. But first attempt, they're always there. They're always ready and willing to just perform brilliantly. And I mean, if you look at the kills right now, 14, 14, 13, 11, and then 7 with Jewel. Compare that over to the 13, 10, or excuse me, 13, 11, 10, 10, 7. Very, very similar with how many kills are coming out. And I think it's really shown how similar these teams have been matched up, how very well matched up these two teams have been, despite having a little bit of a different play style at times, maybe some of them adopting one another's at points of the game. But you really do see that these two teams have been playing phenomenally well. And I don't know, man. What does first attempt need to do to really take what they have here? Because I think they've got a great base. What do they have to do to take that and elevate themselves to become one of the top 3 teams here in SCS?
They just need to slow down their actions. They're skipping steps, and they're just basically going off gut instinct. And gut instinct is great in a lot of scenarios, but when you have 3 minutes of actual play time, contemplate, talk with your IGL, and determine what is your best course of action. Now, obviously, if there's 10 seconds left in a round and attackers are just flooding you on through, you have to go with gut instinct. but this is a very long game. It's not like it's Valorant where you only have 90 seconds of real action, where you have to just go off instinct and reaction time. Here, work together, synergize, and coordinate. First attempt is very good at that, but as soon as people start to fly out windows and play aggressive, that coordination starts to falter a little bit.
Oh gosh, faltering there as Flinty's finds a kill in a Hazmat. Very nice pick, as that is going to put them in the good advantage here. Hazmat is always the opening fragments. He is the poor man, just can't get it on. But that's okay, he's still performing good. We love you, Hazmat, you're a great guy. But Bees with an nade is prepared. There's no one there, but they just move direct. Okay. This is falling apart, but Eamon, the savior of this game, will come back and take down Jewel. Beezer goes splody, man. Poor guy's having a rough map too.
Firstly, come get your man because he just found himself in a 6-foot grave very earlier on. 70 seconds left in the round. The attackers could be successful. They're going to have to leave the attic, and they will leave in body bags as more of them continue to fall. Casper's going to find one. Now it is just support player stuck in a 1v4 against the entire series. He has to find the impact frags, but he's going to be playing very passively. The ult is going to get aggressive and be successful. First attempt. Win the entire series in 2 different overtime brackets, but nonetheless, they're going to be the victorious ones today.
Oof, what a day, what a game, what a night. 297s, I believe, if my math does serve me correctly. A very, very good job by both teams, but at the end of the day, I mean, it just first attempt is able to come out there when it matters most, and they're able to say, we can go for a little bit, but we're going to be able to strike you down. And well, CDAPS, welcome back, our desk host. You're brilliant. We missed your dumpster fire. Warm us with your light, brother. Tell us what's going on.
You know, what a game once again. I thought it couldn't get any better than Villa, and then Oregon happened, but it was good in its own way. It wasn't necessarily the high frag fest that we saw Beezer versus Flinty's just popping off. Oregon was just an enigma, to say the very least. It was its own separate entity that was pure chaotic energy with TKs and double nades and just the most unorthodox siege I've seen on one of the most organized and structured maps possible. And just every once in a while, you just need to see a chaotic Oregon in your life. You don't want to see utility burn over and over again. Why have that when you can see Beezer nade himself at the very end?
Woo! Those are some fighting words there. Now, I have to say, Flinty's was a highlight for me, as well as the member from Firsty, which is Big B's. But I have to say, everybody doubts Synthetic, and everybody doubts Hazmat. People are constantly slamming Haz for having a terrible rating. He proved today that he can play with the big boys. He had, I don't know what his rating is off the top of my head. We'll have to have production confirm that down the road as they're still crunching the numbers. But this is his best series by far. Week 5 was a completely different Hazmat. And if he is able to play like this in all 6 play weeks in the future, Synthetic is going to be a much better team, and a team that you can't just be, talking crap to on Twitter. Now, one of the best IGLs here in this series is going to be joining with a bunch of other people. My friend Bait, it's been far too long since we've chatted. Welcome.
How you doing, man?
I am doing wonderful. It's lovely to actually see your face in front of us. Congrats on your series victories today. Were you expecting to go into overtime twice?
Honestly, no. I mean, they really put up a good fight. We did not expect that at all. We made some mistakes on our end that we need to really clean up, obviously, with the roster change. So everything went well, though. I'm glad we came out with the win.
Now, you have a new member to your roster since Bloom just departed. He goes by the names of Flinty's. What has his time coming into the roster been like?
It's been amazing, man. He's got great mechanical skill. He actually brings a great brain to the team as well. One of the rounds on Villa, he actually won us that round, that pantry rush. That was all his call, not mine. So he brings a lot of other viewpoints to the team. I'm really liking this so far.
So you've been the IGL. Are you now kind of stepping down as primary and just going with a co-IGL system?
No, I'm still the primary IGL at heart, but I always listen to my teammates and see what they feed me, and if they have any ideas, then we go with that. So, because at the end of the day, I'm not always right. So.
Honestly, an IGL has such a narrow focus sometimes, especially if you're playing support like you are. but we don't have a lot of time in the world, so I'm going to pass it over to my co-caster for further questions.
Oh, for the where were you on the night of November? What day is it? Oh no, I forgot my days.
19th, the interrogation begins.
Well, no, congratulations, man. Great job. Very, very fun to watch you guys play. So, we noticed that what we saw from you guys, first attempt, very well-rounded team. All of you guys were picking up your frags. A lot of you were going positive for most of the rounds, but it was still a really long game when it comes down to it. Why do kills not matter, man? What makes this game of Siege where kills don't mean everything? How can it be possible where if you're getting more kills, how are you not just winning outright? What goes on here, man? It's blowing my brain up. You get more kills, you should win. Why, Bait? Why?
I mean, it also comes down to a lot of times like denying like plant, especially if you're on the defensive side. Like if the attackers run out of time, then the kills don't matter if the defender's still up. Also, too, as the defense, like if you can deny plant from a distance, that can win you rounds. So that's why really kills don't matter. Plus, also to a lot of stuff that happens on inside of the game doesn't really show in kills. Like for example, like sometimes entries get a lot of kills because of their supports are giving such great information for them just to basically shoot heads. So.
That's true. I mean, Siege is such a multi-dimensional game. There's so many things that go into it, and I think it's great. You guys are an awesome team. I love what we saw from you. But let's talk about the future. Right now, you are hovering just outside of that top 6. You guys are gonna have to get a couple of points, but is the playoff dream still alive and well? Are you guys gonna get up there and go tear them up?
Absolutely. I mean, our grind is real. I think we found our official 5th today, so
oh, dude,
I
he's
think
insane.
Yeah.
we're gonna go with it and hit it hard like we've been doing. So I mean, we've shocked everybody once. We'll keep doing it again.
Fantastic. Yeah, you guys perform so well. I'm excited to see how it'll go in coming weeks. You guys have a lot of potential, but I think those are all the questions I have for you. Thanks so much for coming in. I mean, if you would like to shout anybody out or say anything, now's your time, my guy.
Just shout out to everybody who supports us. I'm glad we're starting to step it up and our hard work is paying off. Also, shout out to Sav, our trial analyst. Really put in a lot of work this game and allowed us to be ready and be prepared for what they were going to do to us. And then obviously shout out to Flint. He's nasty, and all my other teammates. They're all nuts. So had a really good game. So and I look forward to keeping it rolling next week.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. It was a fun one to watch. But I think, gosh, are we saying goodbye to MC Naps? Is that what's going on? Do we have to say goodbye to our interviewee?
Yeah, we are. Thank you so much for coming in, Bait. And we're also going to have to say goodbye to you two as well. You know, it's that time of the day. The final games are over. And as much as it hurts my heart, I got to wave goodbye to Slayzilla. Even his chair can do this. As well as Chief with his racing suit in the background, as we're gonna have to go for a little bit of a change in scenery coming through. Thank you again so much for coming on. But this is the regular casting desk. We're gonna go all the way to the analyst desk and see what the big brains have to say in just a few seconds. Whenever we're gonna, there we go. Welcome back. Mistakes has sunglasses on, and Pawn still has blue lights. Welcome. How did you guys enjoy that game?
Well, I gotta say, starting out, Big Brain say goodbye, Chief, goodbye, Slay. And what a game to enjoy, indeed. Man, I just gotta tell you, I said this about the first game, what a barn burner, but Flinty's cooled down a little bit. PK and Bait and Casper, they held this game together. I mean, Jewel came up big, and Flinty's fitting into this first attempt roster. We get to see teams make one change, and it redefines how the team plays. But him as an entry, but also playing a very flexed role on defense with operators like that. We got to see him play a lot at Kaid. Having him have that flexibility, play into their team system, and really fill in that hole that they had needed. It was I gotta say it's a different first attempt. They have really picked it up a lot, and I mean, Synthetic gave them a run for their money on attack, and Oregon, as everybody loves to say, is very defender sided. That wasn't the case today. We were seeing attack win almost every single one of those overtimes, and Synthetic brought it back on attack. They even though they had attacked pushing from only one area, they brought it back, and it just there's a million different things that my ADHD brain wants to talk about this game. I'm gonna kick it over to Mistakes to maybe be a little bit more focused than I am, but it was such a wonderful game to watch.
I felt like watching a boxing match, like both combatants going back and forth, left, right, left, just going back and forth. Because if you look at the scoreboard, almost all the players had more than 10 kills. Only 2 players had less than 10 kills, and they had both 7, and that was JW and Breezer. Those were only 2 lackluster, but the rest over 10 kills. What is happening? Like, I didn't expect this match to be as close as it was for both games, going 7-9, 7-9. It was just insane watching them just going back and forth. Like, I honestly didn't know who was going to win, but it seems like First Attempt did their homework, and we're just had better prep workouts, I would say. Like, they were just prepared for the moments that really mattered, and they just looked more focused there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything you guys said. At the end of the day, when you play so many rounds of Siege, a lot of it doesn't necessarily come down to your raw mechanical skill. It comes down to your mental fortitude and how strong and structured you are as a team. We already got a little bit of a peek inside the mind of Bait, who's the main IGL for the side of First Attempt, so we knew he had his guys in line. Their communication was good, and that ultimately let them prevail in the absolute slog fest in the trenches that they went through. Infinite Overtime, it's tough. There's a reason that it's infinite, because it can go on forever. You have to just be able to play at the highest level for the longest period possible. And it's grueling. It's absolutely draining. And going both maps to double OT is something that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy, but that's just how close these two teams were. Synthetic, really great job to keep it close. A lot of people were definitely counting them out. They were underdogs in the most massive degree on our predictions, but they kept it so incredibly tight. But at the end of the day, First Attempt was just the better team by just a little bit, but that's all that really matters.
Yeah, and I think that Infinite OT brings a big facet of this game that you don't see come up a lot in regular play days, but you get to see a lot of T1 teams play this in LAN events, is mental fortitude. When you are playing match after match, game after game, and they go to more than they break that threshold, they go to 15 rounds, they go to 16, 17, 18, 19 rounds. It doesn't just come to who's the team that made it out of that best 2 out of 3 that comes out of overtime. It comes to the team that can hold it in together, and a lot of teams and a lot of people have different philosophies on that. I personally love the philosophy that it's what team can play consistently and consistently well the entire time. It creates very exciting events. I mean, I'm gonna point out, I think it was the G2 Empire game that had gone to 11 rounds of overtime. That was one of the most entertaining matches I've ever seen, because you get to watch, and that was in a best of 5, or was it a best of 5?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
That was
that
in a
was a
best
best
5.
of 5, the longest game, the most cursed coastline ever, with a Jaeger ban and like 50 million nade kills.
It was Infinite Overtime starting a best of 5. It showed who was the better team. It showed who was the better team, and I personally just really love it. But yeah, both these teams grinding it out. Still not the longest match that we have had. I believe Lycus Empire and 303 hold that title. Running almost a 4-hour match. Both rounds going to at
That
least 3
was
rounds.
that game was last week, and it was only long because of the unfortunate rehosts and the internet issues. That
Yeah,
one was
rehosts.
grueling, but
I'm talking about the
yeah,
one
I
from,
think the
week 1.
26 round was Redux Rising versus Emergence.
Great game.
That super long game that I just have to respect Blue Panda for casting that all the way in the ANZ time zone. I think it was like 6 a.m. for him when it finished.
It's from New Zealand. They built
Yeah.
different there.
I never
But
thought I would see a day where both Villa and Oregon have a 3-3 split. Have you ever seen that pod?
I have not. I mean, I wouldn't be the person to ask. I mean, I've seen anything happen on Villa. I've seen T3 APAC teams go 6-0 on attack on Villa and lose the game. I mean, I really, I have seen it all. But in terms of like SES, no, I don't think I've ever seen it go 3-3. I have seen it go 4-2. I also wanted to point out here, Bait, I really hope you're watching the chat right now. I picked up that round specifically to show just of how much of an animal you are for holding off that tunnel and just sacrifice your life. Still think it should have been 3 kills, but you just went pump, pump, shot, and did exactly what that smoke is supposed to do. A suicide mission, holding them off, and ultimately gave you guys the round here. I think our time might be concluding a little bit soon, but I really want to thank everybody for letting us out here tonight, and absolutely wonderful game that we had. Two teams that are coming on the up and up. First attempt trying to make a run for playoffs, and with this addition of Flinties, I think that they honestly have a good shot at it.
Yeah, and also we got a little bit of a first taste of what Mistakes is bringing to the table. Big round of applause to him on the analyst desk. And this was your only time you're ever gonna see me on the desk host, because it's an interesting one indeed. I'm gonna retire off into the night and stick to my place, which is casting unless there's an absolute emergency. But I guess we can just go ahead and close out stream here. Thank you so much to everybody that was talking in chat. You made this a very enjoyable game. Both series absolutely amazing. Big shout outs to all of our sponsors, HyperX in particular. Always rep the headset. We love their high quality products. And with that, I guess we can go ahead and say good night, everybody. And I hope you guys have a really great one.
Remember to kiss your homies goodnight, man.